And we're back. I don't know what happened, guys. YouTube kicked me off. They said, shut up, woman. I sent the links back to Crystal and Amber. I know what it said on my end, it just said this live stream has been terminated. I didn't terminate it. It terminated itself. I don't know what happened, to be honest. Hey, Life Happens. How are you? Ghetto Wi-Fi the house, right? Let me get back on live chat. They have the link, so they'll be in just a few minutes. Hi again. It literally said, this broadcast has been terminated. What was I showing? Okay, the screenshot was of Sam saying, hold on, I'll go back to it. Let me show it again without fucking showing my damn link. How can I do that? Oh, wait, I know how. Hang on. Oh, fucking A. Give me 2 seconds. And cut off some of my link here. Okay. Oh, I need to present too. Hang on. Okay, this is what it says. And this is Sam in the chat saying, sick fucking Katie and Yaba said, I fuck my daughter, which is not true. That it was a troll account that came in. Savage's chat, I think, possibly, I seen it with my own eyes and said bad things about Sam, Savage, and Mandy, all three. And as soon as it happened, Sam went on to say that Katie said that, Katie said that, Katie didn't say that. That's all I have, I think. Let's see if she sent anything else. Wait, am I still screen sharing? Let me make sure I'm not. No, I'm not screen sharing. Okay. Did you guys get the link? And also, we're going to move on from the court case as well. She said all that she wants to say about that, and we're going to move on. Yes, you both have the link. Okay. I mean, because obviously that's not too much that can be discussed in public. Just ask, please do not get mad. Why not have her on panel? Wouldn't it be easier? I know because there isn't any more to be discussed here about that. And I would never get mad at you for asking me a question. Hey, Mr. Boo, are you shocked? Shocked and awe, huh? Hello, Gina. Hey, Sassy. Welcome back. Yeah, she didn't say anything that wasn't already public knowledge. You know what I mean? Who y'all both at once? Me and Crystal? Cassandra, I get all mine at the same place, at a vape shop. I like to get it at the vape shop. Oh, do you all hear me in the background? Hold on. Oh no, I'm paused. Am I echoing or something? Oh wait, maybe I'm not paused here. Hang on. Shut that. Shut that. Shut that. There we go. Okay. Now we should be good. Welcome back. I just told them that you discussed everything that you wanted to discuss on here, and we're not going to talk about that anymore.
Yeah.
Sam went live so she can answer my questions. Well, I didn't have any questions for Sam. The only questions I had was about me dragging her. That's it. I mean, I can drag her if she wants me to. I can go out of my way to do that. I don't want to. Oh, really, Diane? See, I unsubscribed from her. Like, if I don't care about you or anything that associated with you, I literally just unsubscribe. I don't listen to any of the bullshit. Right? Like, shoot the shit last night. I could care less what they have to say about anybody because their word is shit. They know their word is shit. They've lied so many times. So unless you have, I don't know, just don't fucking lie all the time if you want somebody to care about what you're saying. Me personally to care about what you're saying, because I won't.
I haven't lied once since I've been here. I've been blunt and honest and upfront about everything. You ask me, I'll answer it.
I wish more people would do that. I know it's hard. I know it's hard not to care about somebody that's saying something about you, but me personally, it does. If you're lying about me, I could care less. Lie about me all day long. It's making you look bad and not me. And in turn, I wouldn't turn around and do that to anyone. Whether I hate you or not, I'm not going to sit here and lie about you.
Nope.
Morally, I just don't like that. That's all. I think it's mean.
I stopped addressing it all because it was just pointless.
No,
I've learned more bullshit about me than I've ever knew in my life. Hey, Tilly.
But why, if you know it's absolutely untrue and you know the person that's saying it, right, is full of shit, would you let it bother you?
No.
See what I'm saying? Like, even Mama Bear, for instance. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Dee.
Hey, Dee. Hey, Cassandra.
Thanks again. You know, that shows me a lot. Of course, Michelle. Of course.
I'm about to go drive to Chaos.
That'll be a hell of a drive.
She got edibles.
Yeah, you can just buy them at the fucking store.
Yeah, but they got the real shit. We don't.
I don't believe for 1 second they're gone. Crazy side piece. I don't believe. I think, my opinion on that stream last night, I think they thought it was going to be more super chats coming in. I think they did it thinking that people were going to give them lots of money. But here's the thing. If you use your platform to go after people and go after people and go after people and go after people and show everybody what an asshole you are, eventually you're not going to have very many people that want to support you. Tilly.
My outlook to it last night was just from what I was hearing in the live stream was basically we're going to get something, get them all written riled up in our stream, get them all pissed off so we could be relevant, then bounce off and say we're leaving for a little while so shit can cool down, and then when they come back it's going to be something either big shit show storm or it's going to be a pity me party.
The problem with that plan is, right, they have, and I know this personally because they have lied about me more than anybody else on this platform has all combined, okay? People don't listen to what they say, so you can't even get the reaction anymore out of people that you're wanting to get because you've lied on so many people so many times that you're not going to get the reaction that you think you would.
I don't know. It's just, to me, it's the same page, had the same playbook.
Tilly, I would say he probably took it down because there was a lot of curse words. Well, even the end part that I seen, there was a lot of things said, like telling people to go drink Kool-Aid and die. And there was obviously a lot of shit said before I even started watching. So he probably didn't want to take a chance of getting a strike, would be my guess. PR stunt. But your PR stunt doesn't work if your word is shit. I mean, they've used every angle of everything in their life as a PR stunt. And then
Oh, wow.
Listen, and then want to be okay with the person. Like she said, she would never, ever forgive me, which I don't want her fucking forgiveness. I would rather talk to a fucking rock. Stand the rock for the rest of my motherfucking life, okay? But yeah, she's okay with the person that used her daughter's photo on his live stream and talked about her being pregnant and whatnot. They're so transparent. Just regard if so. Chimama, I might have missed it where I was doing the auction and stuff. I had so many DMs. I had hundreds and hundreds of DMs. So if I missed it, I apologize. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. I thought he came in and said he put it back up. Your link didn't work. Oh God, I'll send it again. Hang on. I was wondering where you were.
Oh, shit. Bye, Danielle.
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like if I came on here and lied every day about everybody on this platform, anybody could do that for views, right? Like you could come on here and talk shit about if you didn't care about your credibility, you could come on here and talk shit about whoever. Like I could say shit about Savage for days that isn't true. I could do that to anybody. But once people prove that you're lying about this, that, and the third, just about me alone, for instance, what all have they said about me? That I smoke meth in my pipe, my fucking vape, that I'm on house arrest, that that I get a check for my children. Oh, and then I don't have children because I didn't have car seats in the back of my car. Just things that can easily be debunked, right? Eventually, the impact of your words are going to be less and less. I resent it, Amber. But then you're not going to be able to get a reaction like you would expect that you would get out of it.
See, my point of why it's not worth lying about it is because the simple fact is, once you lie, you have to keep up with that lie. Then you have to keep feeding into that same then lie. Then you have to remember all your back steps between this lie and that lie. Then you have to remember how you're going to connect all these lies. It's just way too much damn work. If I don't like you, I just don't like you.
Same fallout. I thought y'all were cool. I admit I missed a lot of listen, there was never a fallout or a fall in, right? I was only trying to figure that character out. I quickly realized that's someone I personally don't want to be associated with. That's it. It's not any fight. It's not any breakup. There was never anything to break up.
Am I here?
You're back.
Is my Wi-Fi sucking?
Sounds good, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I came inside instead.
Oh, you were trying to smoke, eh?
Yeah.
No, smoke it.
Yes, Ash.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a vape, man. Anyways, the voice of reason has returned. So what are we doing? Like, why is everybody so angry?
I'm not angry.
Well, everybody was heated. Like, I obviously missed some big, like, thing, right?
Yes, you
Is
definitely missed a
everything
big
good
thing.
now? Like,
I
everything's good, or can I get a recap, or what?
what happened is everybody was Vinny G had a stream and everybody was going at it. Katie, Sam,
Uh-huh.
Savage, all of them. I spoke up whenever Savage told Michelle to go drink some Kool-Aid and die. And then, of course, Savage was like, fuck you, blah, 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 what to me or whatever. And then Sam tried to say to me, she was like, Stephanie, I thought we had a peaceful discussion on my channel or whatever, right? Now you're dragging me everywhere. And I was like, no, I'm not. That's not true. Just because I don't want to associate with you doesn't mean, like, I was trying to explain that there's a gray area, right? You don't either have to be killing somebody or kissing their ass. You can just be
cordial.
Not even cordial, just not care. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
right. Be civil?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Civil would be a good word. Yes, but
right.
From both
There's
sides.
a lot of people I don't like, but I don't like say anything to them to start a fight every time I see them,
Yes, exactly. That was my point. Just
So
because
I get it.
I don't go out of my way to attack somebody doesn't mean that I love them and or hate them. But with them, I'll say Savage and Sam, it's either you're completely against Katie or you are completely drinking her Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? And they have to attack you if you're not completely against her.
Right. Is that what happened?
What? Yes, that's what her point was to me. Because I haven't said shit about them since that stream. I wasn't even going to bring up anything to do about them, but they won't let it be that way.
Savage took a jab at me with my job, all because I said, what is the point of this? What is the point of this? All it is showing the hate between these grown-ass women.
He took it down.
We all need to just grow up.
Yeah.
And then Savage was like, Crystal, shut the fuck up. Go back to the pizza shop or some shit like that. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Really? You had to jab at my job. At least I got a job.
It's either fighting or you have to either be fighting or completely like kissing ass. And I don't operate like that.
Most of us don't, honestly.
I know. Why I am friends with who I'm friends with.
Yeah. I mean, I think this whole entire thing has gone like way too far, and it's been like this like for way too long.
Yeah, I wish
all that's going to happen is people, one by one, people are going to leave. And, it's up to, like, I've seen like 3, 4, 5 good people leave recently because of all this. And it's just stupid. Like, for what?
Yep. I've had
people are fighting for what?
DMing me, talking about how they feel put in the middle. And I don't want to ever make anybody feel put in the middle of me and anyone. Like, I don't hate anybody. I don't expect anyone that comes in my chats to hate anybody.
Well, I've found that most people that have the same like mentality you do, kind of, there's people that are in the middle.
Yes,
like
I
there's
see
people that are
behind the scenes that I've talked to behind the scenes, and I personally want to do everything that I can do to prevent that scenario from happening.
Right. Well, I know it was hurtful this past week, but it seems like things are short-lived around here anyway. But they don't realize, like, within what happens, there are people like hurting, and I don't know, people get over it quickly because I guess it's so fast-paced now. So nobody really has time to really stop and think about how stupid this all is, because they're too busy worrying about, the next person talking to them. And that's how I feel like, you know, we're supposed to be making content and having fun, but people are too busy defending themselves or either dragging somebody to do that.
I agree, and I don't.
It's not fun anymore.
I care for people that support me. I can't help it. I have a heart, and I personally just cannot make anyone feel any type of way like that.
No, of course, but I mean, there are people that, you know, support you that are going, what do you mean some type of way? Like, obviously I missed something.
Just feeling like if someone doesn't like me, they don't have to like me. Or if someone doesn't like me, that if they're on panel with me, then they're a flip-flopper.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We're adults here. I think we should be able to talk to each other as adults and act as adults. Like, I think this has become, like, people are doing dumb shit that I don't think they would do in their regular day-to-day life. Maybe they would. I could be wrong. But I just don't see people doing this like with their real friends in their real life, if they have any, you know, like, you pissed me off. I'm going to call Social Security on you, bitch, you know?
Yeah,
I just don't see that.
I couldn't imagine trying to hurt anyone that way.
But that's just how we think, and that's why it's like, you know, people, like-minded people kind of stick together, whereas, I think you're right, like, yes, nutcases stick together, and that's just how it is.
I agree, because
angry people stick together.
Right? That, say someone that I'm close with, and which you all know this and you all feel the same way, but they decided to make a video like Savage made about me. I wouldn't be okay with that person anymore, no matter whom they're making the video about. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's a principle matter to me, you know?
I get you.
Yabba.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just,
it's all so fucking stupid, honestly. Like, at what point does it stop? And what has to happen for it to stop? Like, it's gone way past the realm of anything I thought that was possible, to be honest. I didn't think people were this fucking stupid.
Right? Well, here's the thing. I feel like Katie, and she said it in a chat the other night, Katie said she is paranoid because, and I don't blame her. I don't deal.
Of course she is.
That she deals with. You know what I mean? So
she don't know who's her friend besides Yaba. Obviously, Yaba's been there as her ride or die, but she doesn't know people's intentions anymore because, I mean, you just don't know anymore. Look at the stupid shit people are doing.
Yep. And
you have no idea if somebody's waiting for you to DM something stupid so they can drop it on Twitter or drop it in a live stream for views. Of course she has trust issues.
And I don't blame her.
Do. I'm not even I don't even do videos anymore. And if I do, it's like, once every 6 months. And I still think like that. Like, if I'm talking to someone in DMs, I'm thinking now, I'm going to say something that I'm okay with being put out on a live stream in front of hundreds of people, because you never know.
Right. And I think that's another reason why I was kind of thrown off by the way that Katie took that screenshot. But on the other hand, I don't deal with what she deals with. So seeing the screenshot that Melissa sent to her, I can see why she thought I said that I wanted to like cohort with Sam behind her back and all this crazy shit, because people do that. People do think like that. Sam thinks like that. I just personally don't think like that. But which I, you know,
Before Melissa won't show her.
Oh my God, you're ghetto.
Melissa's saying shit about Katie because I'm
I didn't understand what you said, Crystal.
Ghetto Wi-Fi.
pretty.
I hate your Wi-Fi.
Y'all, it's because I'm in the woods. I'm in the middle
Well,
of
get the
nowhere.
fuck out of the woods.
It's where she lives, don't you know?
Oh, you are actually in the fucking woods. It's like, why?
Yes. You know, at the
Oh,
end,
I gotta plug my
and
computer in.
everybody thought they took that moment and told me to go sleep in the woods. Guess what? I got a place in the woods, bitches. It happened. It did. Right out
You
my
need to get a
front door.
booster for your Wi-Fi, dude.
I have another thing to
This
say
is
about
just my phone.
Melissa.
Your phone.
Okay, hang on. Let me plug my computer in.
I'm gonna need you to get Verizon then.
Don't get Sprint.
Yeah.
That's what I have.
Get
and I can't
T-Mobile or
even-
Verizon. I heard T-Mobile is like up there with Verizon now. That way you
Okay.
can have a better signal.
So the other day I said to Katie in chat, I asked her, right? I said, why do you even care what Melissa says? She pretty much wished you dead, but I meant it as she has said everything under the sun about you except for wishing you dead. You know what I mean? And
Right.
you know, Katie of course said fuck her too. But Melissa took it as I said that she wished Katie dead. That's not what I said. I said pretty much, meaning everything else under the sun she could ever say about Katie has been said. And I've never said any of that. That was my point.
Well, here's my thing about that situation.
Let's just remind everybody that this is the reason why Melissa got called a flip-flopper in the first place and made her flip her shit into pissy mode was because
Amen.
from hating Katie and then next minute loving Savage.
I'm just gonna pretend you're a robot or an alien trying to talk to me.
To translate what Crystal just said, that's whatever caused the problems with Melissa in the first place was her being called a flip-flopper because she is. She just liked me the day before. I said I didn't want anything to do with her. Right?
And what did
She
I
said,
say?
Yes,
I said, as soon as you do this, she's going to show you why you did the right thing. And what was it? What, 5 minutes later?
yes. She went out of her way to hurt people. You know, like she is just a hurtful person. That's all. Like that's all I was trying to say. She just tries to
It
hurt.
is what it is, man. She's the one that's got to live with it. So, I mean, you don't have to. So
No, I don't know
It is
why
what
she
it
has
is.
to lash out. Why she just can't not. I wasn't dragging her. All I was saying is I didn't want anything to do with her because I didn't want my subscribers to be
I know you weren't.
confused.
I mean, there's a difference between dragging and taking a stance. I think there's a big difference. I don't think there was any yelling. I think some people's tones might be misconstrued, you know.
Crystal. Yes.
But
Not
I
right.
mean, it's never good when you're the one being talked about. It's never good. It's never a good feeling.
Right.
Honestly.
I agree with that 100%. Yes.
So the way she looked, the way she thought about that may have been, she was being dragged. But if you look at it, I mean, compared to the other drag fest, it was fairly mild, if it even could be considered that. But I feel like you were just taking a stance on what you wanted to do and letting people know because people wanted to know, like, what the fuck was going on.
Oh, FYI, I sent the Barbie videos to Dr. Koala, so curious to see what she's going to do with us. Maybe nothing. I don't know. Nothing's going on, Amanda. I was just talking about what I had said to Katie in Diane's live stream about Melissa. I had said that she pretty much wished her dead, meaning that she has said every nasty thing about Katie under the sun that I would never in a million years say about my worst enemy. And Katie said, fuck her too. So I felt a little better about that. She's going to do whatever she can to hurt me.
Well, it is what it is. What do you usually do? You take the high road, right?
Yep.
It is what it
And
is.
I honestly
Fuck it.
wish her the best. I wish her the best. I wish that she finds happiness and doesn't have to lash out at people the way that she does.
Nobody deserves to be miserable, you know? Like
Nope.
that's just a sad life.
I agree. I want to go to somewhere. We were going to go to the pool, but we didn't get up early enough.
Okay, so I'm going to Myrtle at the end of the month. Are you coming?
Yes, let me know when, and I will come.
I've told you like 10 times.
My God, tell me one more time. Because
The
Mitchell's
28th, which is Memorial Day, through the 2nd, which is that Saturday. So I'll be coming in on Monday, Memorial Day, and leaving that Saturday the 2nd.
Okay, 28th through the 2nd. I'll see whatever
Yeah.
day that he's off, and I will absolutely be there.
I'm
You
going.
better.
Will you come?
I'm going. Damn right I'm going. A reason to go to Myrtle Beach? Hell yeah.
How long does it take you
I'm
to get
white.
there?
I gotta work on this tan.
How long does it take you to get there?
About 2.5 hours.
It takes me about 2. It's not bad at all. It's an easy drive.
Takes me about 3.5, 4.
Oh, it probably won't even take me that long now that I live this much closer.
Oh, that's a good point too. It was 3-on-1 whenever Katie was up there. Vinny put the link in the chat towards the end, but Katie put it off at the end. But I mean, it was Sam, Savage.
So what was it? Just a shit fest? Like just people fighting?
Yeah. Pretty much everything that they've said about
I
each
miss
other.
all the good shit.
They said it to each other.
Well,
I reckon Savage was on first, and then everybody else got on, and then Katie got on, or I don't know. I just know supposedly Savage was there first, and then everybody else got on.
You
I don't
reckon?
know what direction.
Crystal said she reckons.
Well, Vinny's is the best place to do it. Like, he is definitely unbiased in the whole situation. You know what I mean? So he's just
I'm not driving a dump truck there. Yes, kill me.
Holy shit.
I wish I could get the link. If I could get the link, I'd play it. Hang on.
It's gone.
Would I get a strike?
Yeah. But it's gone. You can't play it. Not unless Vinny gives you the unlisted. But I mean, probably it'll get a strike because didn't you say it was pretty bad?
Yeah, that's probably why I took it down, I think.
Yeah, so let's just pass. Let's do a pass on that. I just called him Viddy.
Viddy.
Hey, Viddy. New nickname.
Crystal, I don't even know if Dr. Koala knew or was there.
I didn't see them. I didn't see them.
We're looking at summer houses in Myrtle. Oh.
Myrtle, okay, so Myrtle is great and all, but like if I had to have my choice, I would be down in Florida on the Gulf.
Yeah,
because it's clear.
I don't
and
like
the sand is like white sugar, you know? I mean, I'm not complaining or anything, but I'm not a partier, so there's really no point to go to Myrtle, but
exactly. You have 4 rows of umbrellas that you have to walk through, and then it's so crowded. Holy shit.
Yes. But I think that it's not going to be that crowded because this is the beginning.
Yeah.
Schools aren't even really out yet, and I don't think most of them get out until like the first week of June, around that area. I don't know. Hell, it might be crowded. But I was thinking about like the water being cold because it's really not been warm that long.
Murrells Inlet. I've never been to Murrells Inlet. I've heard of it though. Hey, Mel's. I'm staying right on the strip.
That's right there before.
It is
Isn't
fun.
that the
But if you have,
international waterway?
can someone get Hitler out? Sure, Helen. I'm dead. Bye, Hitler. I can't get him.
Holla.
Okay. Hopefully I didn't hit the wrong person. Did
Like
I?
I want
I
to
got
be,
it.
if something's going to bite me or eat me, I want to be able to see it, you know? And so
Okay,
that's
so
why I
do you
have
go
such a
out?
hard time.
You go
Yeah,
out in
I
Myrtle
go
Beach?
out a little. I will go out a little bit, but I don't go out past like my waist.
Oh, drama queen, don't waste your time then. Did you see what she said? I've never been to Myrtle Beach, but I've been to Panama City and Destin several times. Just keep going there. I promise you'll be
Yeah,
disappointed.
you can't see anything. You know,
It's
I just
ugly.
like to see if I'm gonna be like, if I'm gonna be eaten by something or bit by something, I want to see what the hell it is, and you can't see anything
What would it
because
change?
what?
What would it change? It would still eat you.
I still want to see what the fuck's going on.
I'm scared out in Myrtle Beach. I have to be able to touch Mitchell the whole time. And he's like, he likes to do things and it reads in the ocean. Like he'll do boogie boards or ride waves or whatever.
Yeah,
Right. And I'm like, touch me. Let me just feel your hand and then I'm okay.
I definitely don't go past where I can't touch.
Where do you live, Mel's?
Panama City, drama queen. Panama City's okay if you're a partier. If I was going to like relax, I would go to Destin because it's a little more quiet than Panama
Destin
City.
looks
But it's the
beautiful.
same water and the same quality ocean. It's right
How
there,
they
like
get
20 minutes away.
jellyfish scare me. Knock on wood. I've never been stung by a jellyfish, but I get scared.
I think some of them, the box jellyfish, are like deadly. Let's not talk about shit that's going to kill us while we're there, okay?
Right. Mel's, you may be living close to Crystal because Crystal says so. She lives close to Charlotte.
I still haven't gone to the doctor, y'all.
Oh my God. What are
Because
they?
I'm still thinking, like, should I wait?
I
But
like to
with
go.
cousins here.
No, in the beaches in Carolina, like Carolina Beach, I love Carolina Beach because the waves are so much stronger than Myrtle Beach.
Where's Carolina Beach?
Just right down the coast, but it's in
Right
North
down that there
Carolina.
coast.
Mm-hmm. Hitler's
What happened
cousin.
to Crystal?
Hey, Patch. Her Wi-Fi went
Did
out.
Crystal leave? Oh, okay.
I still see her picture, but
So what do we need to do to keep the views going? Talk shit?
start stripping. Go.
I'm just kidding. So who all's coming to Myrtle
Teddy.
Beach around Memorial Day?
Me.
We should have this like big YouTuber um extravaganza. We should do it for
Oh,
real.
that would be fun.
Meet me at the aquarium.
In Carolina, like at Carolina Beach, most of the time the waves are so strong, like it'll take your top off and knock you down.
Really?
But it's fun, yes. But it's not good. It's not. If you have small kids, they can stay a little bit more inland and the waves aren't bad. But if you go out, they will literally knock you over. It's great. Michelle said June 23rd, damn it.
No. May 28th through June the 2nd.
Was
Come on.
Myrtle Beach is
Is
only fun for college kids who want to party and get shit faced. I agree. I like to
yeah,
walk.
I think so too, but there are parts of it that are family friendly, and that's where I'm going to be.
Hang on,
I
I'm gonna
can't say where, but just know there are parts that are not for partying. It's more for
see. That's why
relaxing.
I like.
It's a private beach, and like condos and stuff like that.
That's why
So
I like
there's no
Carolina Beach.
public people. There's no public It's not a public beach. It's a private beach.
Hey, I need you to tell me where from the 2nd to the 28th, right, Amber?
What?
Or those dates I just text you, right? What day you're off, because Amber's going to be in Myrtle Beach. Okay, just let me know. Love you. Okay, he's going to look right now.
Okay.
Because
What's
if I
up with
don't
the
do it now, I'll
Hitler?
forget.
No, Helen, I'm not fancy. My parents are fancy. They do this every year. We just happen to be invited this time. I'm just kidding.
They finally let her in.
No, usually I have to work.
Never been invited.
And
Yes, I have.
there were reasons I couldn't leave. I couldn't leave the state for certain reasons for a little while. So I haven't been on vacation in a little bit.
Oh, it's so exciting that you get to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I might have to get permission, eh?
No, it's in your state.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Oh, it's close enough.
I don't think they would have a problem going to the beach for a day.
No. Do you you're on call-in status, right?
Yes.
Okay, you're
Well,
good.
not even call in. You're echoing, Kristen. Mute you too.
Me?
Yes.
Of course I am.
I don't even have to call in. All I have to do is go online every month and, pretty much just say my information hasn't changed, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just call-in status.
Yeah.
You're not going to get in trouble or anything, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's the lowest level of probation because all I have left to do is pay.
Usually they want you to call in and get permission if you're like on intensive or, things like that where they're in communication with you and you're still like a large risk.
Yeah.
I mean, just to be safe, I would call and maybe leave a message, but.
Yeah, I don't even have to talk to them. They don't come to my house. Like in the beginning, they came twice. And then after they seen, I done all my community service, I paid my money every month, I've done nothing wrong, they moved me down to where I have a different probation officer and I don't even have to talk to him or see him.
Ooh, I'm calling. I'm telling on you. Ooh.
A woo-woo.
Woo-woo-woo.
A woo-woo.
Do you use self-tanner, Amber?
Yeah, in the summer and spring, I do.
Which one do you use?
I was using, I don't have it on right now, but I was using one from Sally's called Tan Wise. It's like, it develops like the Mystic Tan does, but it's a foam and it lasts like 3 to 5 days. And then, you can either layer it or you can scrub it off and do another one. I usually like layer it and do touch-ups one time and then start over again when it starts to come off.
Angel said she uses Saint Tropez.
Oh yeah, that's expensive.
Oh, is it? I don't want one that's
good stuff though.
All the YouTubers
it's good stuff. And Tan Labs is good. That's Saint Tropez or Saint Tropez, whatever the hell. This one's from Sally's, and it's not orange. It's like a browner tone tan.
Yes, that's what I need.
I like it. I mean, and it's like $8, so I can live with that.
And the bottle, does the bottle last more than just one use?
Oh yeah, I still have my bottle from last year.
Oh, shut up. So for $8, you can go all summer.
Yeah, pretty much. Depends on how much you're doing it. Like, I did it twice a week. So
send me a screenshot. I'm going to go get some of that as soon as I get a chance.
Okay. When I go back in, I will. My Wi-Fi sucks outside.
Yeah, I was thinking about laying in the tanning bed, and then I'm like, no. First of all, my dad had horrible skin cancer, and told him I would never lay in the tandem bed, and I'm not going to. And second of all, it ages you, and I don't want to be looking any older than I already do. But your schedule.
Yeah, that's why I started using the, we had this lady come, I don't know, you know how people used to come to the house for like makeup parties and skincare parties? Well, this girl came, she had like a makeup and skincare little thing that she hosted at her house. And we had like this, we had to go in the bathroom and it was dark, and they put this like light on your face to show you the spots underneath. I
Oh
guess to scare the
God.
shit out of you.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've been using the self tanner. I don't know, it was probably fake, but it was really bad because I lived out in the sun as a kid. So
it's bad for you. It ages you. It's bad for you to be in the sun all the time. Like people that I know that tanned all the time look way older than people that wore hats.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Crystal, I don't
So
think your
I
YouTube is
don't
muted.
really do it.
Do what?
I don't think your YouTube is muted. Next week, I want you to be on my
I don't even
panel.
have YouTube on.
You want to add different. Sure, Patch. Absolutely. I would love to do that.
What'd they say?
He asked if I wanted to be on his panel next week to discuss.
Who's he?
Patch, the man who refused to die, to discuss current events.
I don't know who that is. Hey, Patch, the man who refused to die, to discuss current events.
I'm not sure what my dad's was called, Neon Butterfly, but all I know is that because my dad was in Iraq for a long time in the war, and I think that's probably a lot where he got sun exposure. And he also always worked outside. He gardened, he done everything outside. But his scar was so deep and wide, like you could literally fit a soda can into his back.
Nice.
Because cut out so much of his skin. He ended up getting lung cancer and dying whenever he was 49. Yeah, so that's another reason why I should have quit smoking a long time before I did.
Yeah.
But it's easier to say than it is to do, you know?
Yeah, my dad quit smoking at like 45, and he had some skin cancer that he had removed or whatever, but he's good now. I guess he quit smoking long enough to where it didn't really, it was early enough to where it didn't kill him, but it could have, obviously, because he smoked since he was 18 until like 40.
Have you seen, this is so off subject, but have you seen this volcano in Hawaii?
Yes. What the hell?
A video about it yesterday. It's not to scare you, Michelle. Just wear sunscreen and protect yourself. If you're in the sun, just make sure you protect yourself, because it will.
Wear fake tanner.
Anyways, I watched this video of a guy showing the fissures, and he predicted that eventually it could cut that whole landmass off, and that could go into the ocean, which would cause a humongous tsunami for the west coast of the United States, as well as devastate Hawaii. Nice. I don't know if that's true, but I watched this video and I was like, oh.
Well, they always have these things where like every year or so we have a new date of when the world's going to end, or when something extravagant and dangerous is going to happen that we're supposed to be scared of. It's always something.
I don't watch that shit.
I think we're due, though.
Oh,
we're all going to die anyway.
Oh, thanks, Amber. Assholes.
I mean, everyone dies.
Just look at Yellowstone.
What do you mean saying?
Yellowstone, right? If it erupts, the whole world would go into a volcanic ice age. The United States would be.
I heard about that too.
And it's been, I don't remember how many.
Yeah, but what's the point of sitting here being scared of stuff like all the time?
Well, I don't think it's to be scared, but to know if you had a chance to get out of the United States, if it were to start happening, to take that chance.
You think they're going to let us out if it starts to happen?
Absolutely not. But people that have connections and money could. No, I think we
Do
would be
we
right
have that?
No, I think we'd be right here.
I ain't got neither.
On a
We need
hangout
to build
until
a
the internet quit
bunker
working.
when we get to Myrtle Beach. What we're going to do is we're going to get a storage container and put it underground and build a bunker while we're there, and that's where we're all going to meet back up if something crazy happens.
I do
I
think,
got
though,
property in Smeets Ferry we can do that on.
I think that
Okay, well, go ahead and get started, man.
that's what I was just about
And
to
I
say.
I
can-
just need the coordinates.
Send her the
So
map,
I got access to all that. We're good.
I think that people that are not prepping at all, aka myself, are being naive in
Yeah, and we
this day and
are
age.
being very naive. I know you're not prepping, and neither am I.
I'm absolutely not.
Right, and it's stupid. We sit here and worry about it, and we know what we need to be doing, but we're not doing it.
That's a thing I need to know. If just because I have a felony, does that mean Mitchell can never have a gun? How does that
I don't. It's really that's a tough subject, honestly. I know you can get yours reinstated after 7 years.
Okay.
This
See,
is
I
your
didn't know that.
first time, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, first offender, and after 7 years, you can get all your rights back to vote, carry a firearm. But you can't do anything. You know, you can't get in
Can't vote. Depends on the
right.
state. Okay. Maybe I could. I don't want to ask my probation officer. You know what I mean? I don't want him to think I'm crazy. But if it's a possibility, if
Well, there's other things that aren't firearms. You can get a crossbow. You can get, and those things
No,
are no
Yeah.
joke.
we can't have crossbows here.
Oh, really?
You can have a regular bow, but
What the
you
hell?
can't have a crossbow.
Crossbows are illegal.
You can
There's
get a taser.
rules behind crossbows. And I think felons are not allowed around crossbows either because a crossbow is still considered like a gun.
We'll look it up. Hold on, I'm fixing to Google it. Hold on.
Because I
I
want to
just
know.
remember something about a crossbow because when I bought my bow, a buddy of mine had got in trouble for his car.
Mr.
And he
Boo,
had a crossbow. And
I
the
wanna say
person that was in the car with his tags were dead on his car. When he got pulled, the guy that was sitting in the car with him, he didn't know the guy, but maybe 5-6 months, he didn't know that the guy had a felony from years prior. And he had his crossbow in the car, and they seized his crossbow. But I don't remember what exactly. Something about felons are not allowed around crossbows. Something, I don't remember.
that's crazy. No, Mr. Boo, what I was about to say is if
He can have a black powdered gun.
I think people that don't live in the United States and don't understand the division one way or another and how more divided it keeps getting and getting wouldn't understand why it's so important to bear arms in the United States.
Okay, it says felons whose convictions have been set aside or expunged, or in which the person has been pardoned or had their civil rights restored, are not considered convicted, and thus they would not be prohibited from owning a gun. So you would need to get your record. You would need to get your shit expunged after the 7 years.
And does that include that? That includes.
I'm fixing to Google
too,
your
right?
husband. Yeah, hold on.
Stephanie, I can find out from you. It might take me a day to get the answer, but I can find out exactly what the rules.
Oh, wow, it was the first thing that popped up. As long as your spouse doesn't have any disqualifying reason, they can own a firearm. The problem is that as a convicted felon, you cannot own, use, or possess a firearm. It's not just ownership, it's the possession that could hurt you. So I'm thinking they're saying, what is possession? Like in the house,
Yeah, if it's not locked
in your
up,
name. I don't know.
technically, I
Let me
think
look.
how it goes is, I remember, this is about y'all. You got to watch Cops, okay? Because Cops sometimes will give you the answers. There was an episode of Cops from North Carolina, I believe it was in Charlotte, and the guy's wife had a bunch of felonies, shotguns in the house, and the only reason why the wife didn't kept in a gun safe and on each individual gun, and only he possessed the keys. So by that rule, it knocked out her having the possession of the gun.
Right.
Even though the guns were in the home, she cannot legally possess any way to that firearm without having them keys.
Okay. Time out. Can a convicted felon own a firearm in North Carolina? North Carolina Supreme Court states some felons can own guns. North Carolina first limited convicted felons' ability to legally possess any handgun or other firearms with a barrel length of less than 18 inches or an overall length of less than 26 in 1975. So that means that, what are they saying, that some can and some can't? I'm guessing violent versus non-violent, maybe? I don't know. Depending on what your felony is. Because it's different in every state.
I know, Mr. Booth.
Like,
You were joking.
in some states, if you have like a mental health record, you can't own a gun, and in some states you can. So I guess it just varies. We'll just have to do some more research.
Yeah, so if he could,
I want to know now too.
Get a firearm
If he
legally
can get
and
a
lock
little
it up,
safe,
yeah,
yeah,
because we have children, he would do that anyway.
yeah, I would say that's safe. I mean, I would do a little bit more research before, going and jumping the gun and buying one.
I think
Jumping the gun.
Isn't it, Crystal?
Huh?
Is it North Carolina an open carry state?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it should be the same.
So
Paula said,
it's like
I own
Texas.
weapons that were locked up and registered in my name when my stepson was convicted of a felony, but I'm in Virginia, an open carry state. We're an open carry state. Like Mitchell's stepdad always, because he has his concealed carry license, and he always keeps his on his belt and walks around.
There's a difference between concealed and carry. Open carry means the gun has to be visible at all times. Concealed carry means if you don't have a license to conceal it, then you cannot legally hide it.
Right.
Yeah, and he would never even care about that anyways. It would just be so he could have a firearm and keep it locked up in case we ever need it.
And it's a good idea to have it locked away, even if there is no felony involved, especially when you have children.
We would anyways. That's why we didn't have one already up until this point, because we didn't already have one, and we want to make sure we do it the right way, you know what I mean, and not put them in danger.
Yeah, I would think that since he's not he doesn't have anything in his record, that it would be okay, but
yeah,
like
he's
I said, we'll do some more research.
He's a square.
Well, I mean, it's always good to, I'm sorry, but I feel safer when there's a gun in the house, Look,
the right to bear arms, and the reason why it's in our Constitution, is not only to protect us from citizens that
criminals.
break the law.
It's from the government too.
Yes, it's also to if the government goes rogue.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that's the reason the government has never went rogue.
Because they know that a lot of people have guns, especially in the South.
Yeah, like in other countries, they say there's a gun hiding behind every blade of grass in the United States. That's another reason that we haven't been invaded, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have to just worry about the military militia. They would have to worry about the civilian militia as well.
That's right. Because it's not like we're just going to hand them over, you know?
No.
And I think that's why people are so adamant about keeping that, you know? And there's such a huge divide in the country with that.
Why do you think that? So every single time that there is a gun used illegally, may I add, illegally, the first thing they talk about, they go to, they bring up, they point at is guns, gun control. They always blame it on guns because that the agenda of the left. I heard them say when they had the march for when they had these high school students doing what was it called? March for something. Anyways,
March
it was like
for our lives.
Yeah, like it was like worldwide march for the Second Amendment to be overturned, really. And the girl said in front of everybody, she was like, "We won't stop until it's completely overturned." Obviously, that's their agenda. And it shouldn't be a discussion about guns. It should be a discussion about mental health.
Yes. Because guns, never mind. Let's not get into political shit.
Why not?
I don't know, man. It gets everybody all pissy, and it's just like talking about religion.
No, listen, it should not. A debate is what has gotten civilization to where we are now. When the debate is dead, our freedom is gone. If someone gets offended by someone having an opinion, that's scary, especially to the point that they're willing to cause violence to that person. That's scary.
I totally agree with you. I just think that, I don't know, man. People do get angry.
They need to stop because here's the thing. In Europe and in other places, they don't have the freedom to say what they want anymore like we do.
Yeah.
You know? And as soon as we shut up and sit down, DM me, Patch, as soon as we shut up and sit down and care that people are being offended by our opinions, that makes our opinions not matter anymore. And
since we're on the subject of the political thing, I would like to share something, my opinion about, you know, since we're going there, about the government and stuff like that, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't know if you heard about that little boy in England that he was on life support and the government deemed him like his life, they ended his life support, and the government had the power to do that because they said it would cost more money to keep him alive than for him to be unplugged. And there were protests, and you know they have a national health care system, so basically the doctors are playing God, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, like, since it's leaning towards they're trying it for a national healthcare system here, and I'm thinking, like, you know, that is just so barbaric to even think of in such, like, it's not a third world country. You know, they're very advanced. They're, you know, about the same as us, you know? So I just didn't understand, like, how people are okay with that. And after seeing that, it kind of had me shook that the government has that much power.
Right. Once you let in my opinion, my views is that the government should be involved in our everyday lives as little as known
as possible. Yeah.
We're already way past that, even in the United States. We have the sense of freedom, but really we're teetering on.
Yes, Mama Cat. They do that with the elderly too. So it's basically like a homicide. Like doctors are killing people in England, and I was unaware of this until this happened with this little boy, because it kind of shook me because he was Carter's age. And it was a worldwide thing. You know, people were having protests, and it was all over the news, all over Twitter. And I started looking into it more, and I started seeing more and more where That's happening here too. It's just not it's not getting news coverage, but it's happening here in the US.
No, let me tell you a problem. Believe me or not, you guys, the media is 90% of the problem in the United States as well as around the world. They are so political. I sent you the link, babe. They're so politically driven that we're not getting news anymore. We're getting a one-sided, the way that they want us to see the world.
Yeah, of course they are. It's all owned by the same fucking people.
It's scary. It's honestly scary, right? Like the only way we even
have little miss. Kiss, kiss. Just kidding. Fuck you.
The only way we even have a chance to get real news is to listen to people talk on the internet.
Yes, and they're even trying to end that with this net neutrality bullshit.
Well, listen, what do you think YouTube is doing? Do you not think YouTube has a political agenda?
Of course they do. I got an email that they were going to try for every conspiracy theory video, they were going to link in the suggested a video, an opposing video that debunks the conspiracy theory.
Hey, Red Roadrunner, who do you think came up with the word conspiracy theorist, Amber?
The government.
Absolutely, they did. It's a
word.
I
watched something on it like recently.
Crazy.
People who get insulted by everything.
Yeah, it's literally a word.
Crystal coming out of nowhere.
And what it is, right? Yes, people are too insulted. Like, I don't understand how our country got so far divided.
Well, divide and conquer, right? They're trying to conquer their own people.
It's working, though. Like, look at Kanye.
Of course. The race thing, it's working.
I don't care one way or another about Kanye, but I do care that he can say what the fuck ever he wants to say as a black man in America. And for any white man or woman that tweeted about Kanye, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you crazy? Shut the fuck up. You know what they're saying to him? They're literally saying, because you're a black man, if you're not a Democrat, you're crazy. That's racist.
True. Though I don't agree with everything.
I heard about all that stuff with Kanye, but I didn't look too far into it because I knew he had like mental issues. Previously, I thought he was just going to have a breakdown or something.
Do you know why he got put in the hospital in the first place?
No.
Because he said publicly he supported Trump. And he's a black man.
He said publicly what?
He supported Trump. That's what made him
crazy. And that's why they put him in the hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but you know, he's had a lot of pretty good points, but he really fucked up when he opened his mouth and told everybody that slavery was a choice.
That's not what he was saying. Oh my God. What he was saying.
What's up, brothers and sisters?
Hey, Patch. What
brothers and sisters
was this? Listen, everybody please listen to what I'm saying. He was saying that if you let someone tell you, Crystal, you're echoing.
Sorry,
somebody timed out Heated Snowflake, and they said, "Hail Worski." Who's Worski? Andy Worski?
Yeah, he's a YouTuber. Okay, let me get this.
Maybe they were just kidding. It's not a Nazi thing.
I think they were.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna unblock them.
They're not blocked. They're in timeout.
Oh, okay. Sorry, buddy.
So
wasn't me, but it's okay. Come back when you're done.
So what Kanye was trying to say, right, is that slavery has kept black people in a certain mentality for hundreds of years, and they're still letting it keep them in the same mentality, meaning you have to either vote Democrat, think Democrat, or you're not black. That is not American. Go ahead, Patch.
What's up, brothers and sisters? For those that don't know me, I am the man who refused to die. This is in my wheelhouse. The thing with Kanye, somebody said he admitted to being on opiates. That's irrelevant. Being on opiates or being addicted to opiates.
They put him on opiates.
Well, not even that, but he was doing it before. He was on opiates before he got committed. Problem is, just because you're on meds doesn't mean that your point of view or your opinion is wrong. I know plenty of people who smoke a shit ton of pot, have 2 brain cells left, and they're some of the smartest people I know.
If I
So
was
we got to
him,
stop titling them.
if I was
Yes,
him
ma'am.
and had to deal with the stress that he has to deal with right now, could you imagine how hard it is, right? Even the guy, I don't know if you guys seen him on TMZ, but the other guy said to him, you don't know what it's like to have your viewpoint, Kanye, and live in the streets. I could not imagine how hard and what pressure is put on people to think a certain way.
I mean, if we start allowing that labeling of people, then we're all fucked.
Absolutely.
Why? Because 80% of the country, almost 83% of the country is on some form of medication and has been for over a year.
Amen.
At least, and that's a fact. So if we start saying people are fucked in the head and their opinions mean nothing because they're on some form of medication or some form of SSRI, then who the fuck can actually make a decision in this country
No one
that means anything? And in regards to the whole gun debate, it didn't start off as the mainstream media. It was the Democrats who've always been trying to take the guns because, as you said, the reason for the Second Amendment isn't the fucking hunt. I'm not chasing squirrels down with my AR-15.
Right.
Okay. My AR-15 and the training that I've taken and had in my AR-15 and other firearms, as well as my children, my wife, her parents, a lot of the family, we all own guns. We have like 35 total, roughly. Is because if the government decides to come kicking in my door to take my gun, they're going to find something they're not going to like. Why? Because that's my right to defend my home against anybody. Voodoo in the side chat. Voodoo is a combat veteran. He has served his country. He has done his time. He has seen actual inland combat. And for people like him and I who have issues, with the shit that we had to see and the shit that we did when we were in service, for them to say people like us are some of the people on the list that shouldn't have firearms. We were good enough to have firearms for all the years we served and protected the country, but now because we're not going to put up with the governmental bullshit and allow people to say, no, fuck you, you don't have a right to free speech, you don't have a right to the Fourth Amendment, you don't have a right to the Second Amendment, and we're here to say, no, screw you, you come to my house with bad intentions, I don't care who you are. The oath that we took, we were never absolved from. We were never released from to defend our country against all enemies, both foreign and domestic.
Absolutely.
That's your opinion, Paul, or Porn. That's your opinion. And your opinion to you is important. Your opinion to me is not. You have the right to not have one. I have the right to have one.
What I'll say to that is at one point, I did, because I'll say at one point I considered myself Democratic. And I think that was before I was old enough to really know politics and the way that they work. But now being Democrat is not even what it meant 4 years ago. It's completely different or even worse. But
being a Democrat isn't what it meant 2 years ago, dear.
Right. But
I completely agree with you.
Most people, right? Most people that own AR, whatever, machine guns that are, or whatever you call these things, that are, that people say they don't need them. Most of those people are citizens that abide by the laws, have their guns legally, and do not commit crime with their guns. A lot of the gun statistics are from guns that are gotten illegally. And no one does the statistics either way to show. They just want to make guns look bad. That's their agenda. That's
not true. The FBI does do a yearly statistical on gun death. And if you want to look at the statistics for death in this country, gun death is number 9 on the list. Knife death, car death, claw hammer is number 3 on the list of what kills people the most in this country is a claw hammer.
Number 2 was the butter knife.
Yeah, number 2 is a butter knife.
Have you seen the memes from Europe that they want all of those things are bad? there. Like they want any
Well,
way to protect yourself. Gone.
Britain is banning knives.
Yes.
They're banning hunting knives. They're banning buck knives. Do you realize you can't send a fucking buck knife from here to Canada if it's over a certain length in inches? So basically,
Not
you're going to have one
surprised.
of those fucking Swiss Army knives. And yeah, sorry, guys. I am the man who refused to die. I was talking in a chat a few minutes ago. My apologies. But yeah, this is in my wheelhouse. This is what my channel is all about. We discuss these things on a daily basis with different people on the panels to have debates. As far as people saying that it's not warranted to have an AR-15, you don't have the right to tell me that. Just like I don't have the right to tell you you have to own one.
Okay, we have a question.
Where? I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Can you ask the panel, do they have any ideas how to defend our kids in school? I've heard in Texas, the vets have offered to go into schools and protect the schools.
And that's one of the good ways to do it, because you got vets like me and Voodoo who sit and don't do anything with the skills we've got, because there's nothing out here for people like us to do. Having been trained for years and to do this particular type of job, protecting our country, they won't allow us to protect our kids at school because, God forbid, you have somebody with an AR-15 walk into school premises.
I think
locking the doors.
People don't realize or think about the fact that schools are already gun-free zones. Mm-hmm. Whomever that person is, whether the gun is gotten illegally or legally, they are taking it upon their self to break a law that is already in place to keep them from shooting up a school. They're breaking a law. So if we put more laws into place, they're still going to break those laws. That thinking to me blows my mind.
What blows my mind is you can go to a check cashing joint in the fucking hood. Okay. I live an hour from LA. You can go to a check cashing joint, and they got bulletproof glass. They've got bars on the doors and the windows, so you can't jump through the window. You can't shoot the window out. Why can't they put those kind of windows in our schools? Why can't they lock the door? Most of the time when you go to a school, the front door is always unlocked. Why? Why isn't there a guard?
That is very true.
Our schools put lock systems on all their doors now.
And they could even do metal detectors.
You have to push a button and it shows a camera and they'll look at you to verify if you're okay to go in that school or not.
I grew up in New York. I grew up in Brooklyn and Staten Island. And when I was going to school, they were all, we went through metal detectors. We had to put our fucking book bags through a fucking scanner. And this is back in the 80s. Okay? This is in the 80s. They were doing it in New York. What the fuck took them so long? What? Almost 40 years later? And now start doing it in other states.
I'll tell you why they're not, right? That's an easy fix. They want to blame everything on the guns and make it look like it's an impossible task when it's absolutely
exactly not. What's up, Hondo? And see, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of statistical facts, and these aren't opinions; these are facts. Do you realize there's 328 million people in this country? Okay, criminal and solid citizen alike. Do you realize there's 350 million legal guns? Legally owned. That's not including all the guns from the gangbangers and the drug dealers and the people, the criminals who can't own guns. They average that's about another 60 million roughly. Added to that, do you realize if legal gun owners were the problem, there'd be nothing you could do about it? There's 350 million registered guns in this fucking country. Do you think telling a legal gun owner, hey, you're the reason why
absolutely
we have mass shootings? If we wanted to have mass shootings, there's nothing the government could do to stop us. We're not the problem.
It doesn't make it. If people would actually just ignore the media, right, and not listen to what the media has to put into our heads.
Can y'all hear that? It's the somebody's weed eating. Can y'all hear that or no?
No.
Not really,
okay,
dear.
Cool.
Not really at all.
Okay.
So you're good, sweetie. And sorry for taking over the chat, guys. I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine. I love your input. I think that if people would logically look at the statistics, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they could see that taking the guns away from legal gun owners would not fix anything that they want to fix.
Well, I'm going to give you something to blow your mind. You know, everybody keeps saying the police are fascist and Gestapo and over drunk with power. They say Trump is Hitler. His cabinet is all, you know, the SS. Why the blue fuck? These self-same people who say all these things want to take guns away from people like me and Voodoo and everybody else that's doing it legally, and they want to give the power to have guns to the people they claim are Hitler, the Gestapo, the SS, drunk with power. Why would you?
Into their face. They don't think past the end of their nose. They don't understand what they're saying and doing. It makes no logical sense. None.
Right. They knee jerk everything, and they want everybody to jump on board that fucking crying train and get their binky, their blankie, and their fucking safety pin and have their little roped off safe space or cry closet. And so long as you go along with that narrative, you're a great person until shit hits the fan in a year. And then you've still not done enough to give over all your rights. I'm going to tell you straight up, the only way you're taking my rights is when you kill me. That's it. I didn't serve my country. I didn't raise a family. I didn't work all my life just to have some fucktard 16, 17, 8-year-old tell me what the fuck I should or shouldn't be doing. David Hogg, for instance, when the government, when the leftist cuckolds decided they wanted to put somebody up in front of their movement to remove guns, they used a kid whose father's fucking FBI, who wasn't even at the school when Parkland initially happened. He got on his bicycle and pedaled his happy ass to the school so he could say he was part of it.
Did you see the video
That's a fact
that came out of the okay, so you have the sheriff, I guess is his name, and then the people under him.
Yeah,
his
Israel.
officers
Sheriff
under him, they're going against him, right? Because there's a video of him going up to the door and turning around and not even going in to the school itself.
They put a ponytail in his hair.
Sorry, my daughter's put a ponytail in our small dog's hair. Poor guy. Poor little fella. Did you realize the Parkland shooting itself was a false flag? Why? Because the FBI had 2 reports on this fucktard. The local PD had 39 instances where they went to his house, not including CPS coming to his house.
Listen, explain what you mean by false flag, because I think some people misunderstand what you mean by false flag.
People conflate false flag with fake. False flag is not fake.
Thank you.
False flag means that it was intel. They knew about shit, and they either didn't act on it, didn't credit it as being, warranted as being credible, and they did absolutely nothing to prevent it. Even having over 40 instances where they came to this kid's house. They watched this kid's video saying he was going to shoot his school up. Everybody kept trying to say there was no reason to do it. He got kicked out of the school the year before, and he was mental. Everybody knew he was mental. And the government, the FBI, the police, CPS, for those who don't know what CPS is, Child Protective Services.
Amen.
It's called DCH or whatever, Department of Children and Health or whatever. They all knew about this the year leading up to the shooting. The fact that he got a fucking gun legally, the government dropped the ball. But they want to blame us.
This is the same government that people want to give our guns over to. The same government that they want to give our protection over to. They're not trying to protect us. They're trying to disarm us for their own personal.
Have you guys ever seen the movie 1984 or read the book? Read the book. It's only about 300 pages. It's a George Orwell book. It was written 30 years ago. And what happens in that book is happening now. We got what's called the slow frog boil, okay? The theory is you put a frog in a pot of water and it starts off cold. Frog is happy as a pig in shit because now he's in cold water. Frogs like water. You start to turn the heat up to 1. You let it sit for a while. You turn it up to 2. You let it sit for a while. The frog doesn't realize he's being slowly boiled alive. He never jumps out of the pot because he never notices the instant, like ripping off a Band-Aid, the pain from that, he never notices that. That's what's happening to us now. We're being slow boiled to give away our rights. The Patriot Act.
The media, right? That we have the media
Right.
telling us the complete opposite of the truth. It's hard to know what's really happening.
No, not necessarily, Mr. Boot. Sorry. Having a false flag is the people who should be doing something about it, let it happen. That's exactly bottom line without all the commercial tags to a false flag. It's the people that in the know, the people that should be doing something to prevent this, knew about it, let it happen. Same thing with the 9/11 shit.
And
Same
turn
thing
around and use
I
it for
thought
their
a
own
false
agenda.
flag. I thought a false flag was when you do something to take away from what's really happening.
No, not necessarily. That's a different type of situation. A false flag is usually used for shooting incidents or bombing incidents or like 9/11, for instance. What happens is the country or the government, okay, when 9/11 happened, they knew all these guys were in country. They knew they were taking flying lessons. They knew they were part of Osama bin Laden's terrorist crew, and they still allowed them to take flying lessons. They didn't detain them when they were doing shit that was suspicious. That's a false flag when you allow an action to happen, even knowing everything leading up to that action happening could have been stopped.
And then turn around and use it for your agenda to get rid of or to take care of whatever you want it. Like if you have blood on your hands if you do something like that. Then to turn around and blame it on something that is
So
not.
was Vegas a false flag?
Absolutely.
I believe, no, but see, Vegas, nobody knew Vegas was going to happen. Dude never had any, dude had all his firearms legally. He never made a video saying he was going to kill anybody. He never did anything that was going to get him in trouble. He never officially hit the radar.
Okay.
Like this kid in Parkland did. See, when this guy did it, not even his family knew.
There was no video footage of him in the hotel at all, though.
There was video footage of him entering the hotel with his fucking gun bags. Yes, there was.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yes. When the first couple of days after the Vegas incident, there was like 25 people who kept saying there was more guns than just him. That there was actually guns on the ground shooting at them. And
yeah, what about the other windows where you could see the flashes from the other weapons?
Exactly.
I don't think we know enough.
Yeah. When the people in Vegas were running around trying to get out, the fucking police sent them back in, blocked off and cordoned off the exit that they managed to hit to get the fuck out of the shooting, the death range, and they sent them back in, told me how to go back through the other way.
Another thing that could have been prevented was the kid that shot people in that Waffle House not that long ago.
The kid was naked, killed 4 people in Waffle House? Yes. Another thing, too, about the whole Vegas incident, there was a bunch of people who decided they were going to speak on what they saw, what they heard, the people that they ran across. Do you realize 11 of those people have come up missing or dead? Not long after.
What about the people that have already been crisis actors?
Right. See, I have a little problem with the crisis acting thing, only because I don't see it on mainstream media. Like, okay, say Fox News does Parkland, and they say something happens in your state, okay? And Fox News covers that. And they cover both incidents live with people who are supposedly survivors. You never see it live. You never see the video footage live. What you see is people showing still pictures with shit attached to it, okay? You know, they show headlines that may not have been in the original broadcast. So when you start to conflate and say, okay, this happened in Jersey, this happened in Vegas, look at these 2 people, you can't prove that either one of the still photos actually happened because you never get to see both videos. That's why I have a problem with the crisis actors. I know it does happen, but I can't claim that everything's a crisis actor being paid to say A, B, and C. But that's just my personal opinion from all the research that I've done. And I do this. This is what my channel is about. So I do this every day. I spend 10 or 12 hours researching shit.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
I wouldn't be surprised either. Well, look at the shooting. Okay, prime example for reasons. Hey, Voodoo, you're welcome, brother. Thank you for yours. We didn't do it to be thanked. We did it because it was something that we needed to do.
Yes, thank
To
you both for your
protect us and
service.
ours.
Absolutely.
I didn't do it to be thanked or honored or any of that nonsense. I did it because it was something I felt I needed to do. I wanted to do. And I was a little bit psychopathic back then. I enjoyed doing these things.
What do you think about the way that people in America, I don't know how it is in other countries, but say right now we're having a discussion that might make people uncomfortable. So they use words such as like that to make people look like they're bad just because they want to have a discussion.
Well, they don't want to have a discussion if they're trying to make you look bad. I get called racist, homophobe, Islamophobe, xenophobe.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
They do it to shut me up. They think they're going to shame me.
Mhm.
And the problem is, I've survived cancer 4 times. I've broken my back and I had to have 5 surgeries to fix the problem. I have type 2 diabetes. I've had 3 heart attacks. I've had MRSA 3 times. I've had necrotizing fasciitis from a brown recluse bite. What are you going to do to me? There's nothing you can shame me with.
I think
So
it
I
works
speak
with
how
a
I
lot of
speak.
people, though. Don't you think
Because
it
they
works
have,
a lot?
yes, because they're socially engineered to do a shit what the lesser trained, lesser intelligenced, lesser IQ'd people want them to think. Because see, people on our side tend to deal with facts. We don't tend to deal with emotion. We don't put emotion behind what we're saying, which is why we usually lose the argument. If you notice, like, okay, Ben Shapiro is a friend of mine. When he does his speeches, he doesn't usually get to talk to people who don't agree with him. Why? Because they start yelling shame and they try to down shout him. Okay, and that's the left's way of saying fuck you. You don't have a right to speak unless you agree with me.
I've seen them resort to violence on multiple occasions.
Right.
Just because they disagree with what someone says. I don't ever see, not saying it never happens, but I never see someone that is conservative attacking someone for their opinion, because conservatives stand behind free speech.
Well, see, and I agree with you, but see, there's a lot of people who are hijacking that conservative name. Okay, there's a group called Stormfront. The reason that YouTube first started its apocalypse is because a neo-Nazi group called Stormfront was getting ads put on their videos and their recruitment videos, and these guys are bottom of the barrel. They need to be, kicked in the face. And
well, they're idiots,
in my
just
opinion.
like Antifa, right? Like that
Right.
extreme on
Right.
one side or the other are idiots.
But they claim to be conservatives. So yes, they do go to places and shut down free speech. They do go to
Okay.
places and try to intimidate, is what my point was.
Well, they don't stand behind what they claim to believe in.
Right, exactly. They only want free speech for them. So the extreme left and the extreme right are the flip sides of the same coin.
The horseshoe theory.
Stormfront, the same thing.
Yeah, it's a horseshoe theory, right? Same.
Exactly.
Same.
And Data, you're right. All of Orwell's books are worth a read. But 1984, if people want to see how the country's going, check out 1980. Jesus Christ, I'll give you an up-to-date, right now, modern show you can watch, their 3rd season, that is showing exactly what disarming a populace looks like and what fascism looks like. Watch Fear of the Walking Dead, season 3. I haven't been keeping up with it, and we were watching, like, kind of binge watching it while I was doing YouTube. My wife was painting, and I started to watch the show the other night, and I was like, son of a bitch, this is pissing me off. And
they
the reason
wanted
it's
to
pissing
say,
me off.
this is
they were
illegal,
using-
that's illegal, because it's bad for you, right? Like I was watching somebody
Yes and
have
no.
talking about Demolition Man the other day, right? And it
Right.
as a joking way, they say in there, you can't eat salt because it's bad for you and it's illegal. But
Right.
that's not, it's funny, right? But it's not that
Mhm.
far
But
off.
it's not funny. Exactly.
It's
I mean,
not
look at
that
they're
far
saying
off from
pot. You
truth.
can't smoke pot. But if you believe in the Bible, God says, hey, use every herb of the on the planet because that's for your purview. It says so. Just like it says, man has dominion over all animals and all plants, all birds in the air and fish in the sea. But they want to dictate what you can and can't use based upon money, based upon who's going to lose money if you get to use this or don't get to use this. But I shit you not, watch Fear the Walking Dead season 3. You'll see exactly what racism looks like. You'll see exactly what disarming the population looks like. And you'll see what happens to a population that's disarmed by the people that have all the arms. You want to see,
I think a lot of
show on
times
this the other night.
the word racist is used to control people. I'm not saying there aren't racists in the world, but that word is so overly used to control people and shut them up.
The word now doesn't mean the same thing it meant 30 years ago when we were kids.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay. It doesn't evoke the same ire anymore because everybody's a racist. If you don't think that, these little kids getting killed is grounds for giving up your guns, then you're a racist. Or you're a I got accused of being on Twitter. I got into a disagreement with a liberal. I didn't realize how left they were.
I have a question from the viewers.
Yes, ma'am.
Why are we immediately assumed to be crackpot alarmists the moment we begin to question the sound bites the media sells us and think for ourselves?
Because their way of controlling your thinking. They want to control the way you think.
Call you crazy instead?
It's insidious because it's been going on since the 50s. Since the Korean War. Okay.
Yeah, they used to put people in mental hospitals.
Yes. They used to put conspiracy theorists in mental wards, shock therapy, to make them change their minds and change their viewpoints.
Yep.
But it's been steadily getting worse throughout the decades. But it's been going on. It started in the late 50s, early 60s.
What do they do with them now?
Nothing. They try to bust your balls. They try to insult you. They try to make you look crazy. They try to, I can't think of the word, sorry. Sometimes when I'm in the middle of a thought, I just lose the words due to brain damage. Not because I'm stupid, but because of brain damage from the brain cancer. So I forget the word I'm trying to say, but they try to pick on you, basically. They try to bully you. They try to make other people see you as being less
not
than
credible.
From the same people that claim to be bully hunters and are against bullying. These are the same people that if you disagree with them, they will literally go after you and after you and after you and after you and after you. It's ridiculous.
Do you want? Yeah, I'm going to bring this topic up because Voodoo wanted to mention it, and I'm gonna touch on it briefly. People have gone so far as to say I have stolen valor just to try and shut me up.
Absolutely, they'll say anything.
Right.
They'll say anything, and you know why I don't.
But Voodoo has been accused of stolen valor too, by people who didn't like him and didn't like his theories.
Exactly. That's the way that America is right now. I don't know how it is in other places. I just know how America is. And for me personally, I don't let anybody's words tell me the way that I feel. I know I'm not racist, obviously. I know I love every person equally. So I can.
You have to because you have me on your channel.
I can have my opinion and stand behind it without caring whomever thinks I'm racist.
John McQueen, I appreciate it. See, my thing is, Stephanie and I are, I'm talking to Amber, right? This is Amber, not the other young lady. Okay.
Amber, this is
I'm trying to keep an eye between, I know who you are. I just wasn't sure what the other young ladies did.
I'm nobody.
We don't know each other.
No, you're not.
No, you got an opinion, you got a thought, you got synapses firing, you're more than a nobody. So shut that bullshit up real quick because that'll annoy me when people put themselves down in my presence.
Oh, it's kind of like an inside joke.
Sorry, but because I do that too. I'm self-effacing at times, and I can't stand it, and it drives my wife insane. She's like, "Babe, you're smarter than you give yourself credit for." Point is, though, we could disagree on this panel. The side checker could disagree with me. I don't care if we disagree, as long as at the end of the day we can agree to disagree and leave this, even if we don't agree with everything, taking away some knowledge and info that we may not have had before that may change our minds 6 months from now.
My goal is,
you get what I'm saying?
My goal is to use my platform to make it okay and people feel comfortable to feel however they feel, not because they're told to feel one way or the other, not because they're told this way is wrong and that way is wrong. I want people to feel comfortable to feel however they feel because that's just how they actually feel.
And like I said, I know there's plenty of people in the side chat that are left leaning. That's great.
Yep.
Prove me wrong is my theory. Prove me
That's
wrong.
American.
I'm going to do my best to prove you wrong. That's what it's all about. That's what a debate is. It's the facts showing what you believe and showing your opinion and showing the facts support your opinion.
Hey, Candace,
And
I
trying
love
to get
you.
people to change their opinions.
I
And
wish.
I agree with what Lacey just said. She said, if it's on mainstream media, I'm going to question it.
Amen.
Yes, ma'am. Always. That's
Amen.
our job.
Especially, it's worse now than ever, you guys. I don't know how bad it is in other countries, like I said, but in America, the media is so divided. They're not giving you the truth.
Right.
Well,
And
the
I
reason
think
why they're
that
divided
it's like
is
that
they're
in
being
a lot
paid
of
to
other
be
countries
divided.
too. It's propaganda. It's all propaganda. They want the US to be the heroes. But if you go and look over in Spain or in the UK, it's a different story.
It's all
You
propaganda.
know?
Amen.
Oh, God.
I want to say this. If
You
anybody,
ladies were talking about that kid in the UK
yeah,
who the government
Yeah.
turned off life support. Just a few weeks
Yeah.
ago, the Great Britain decided to let all of its people know that their children didn't belong to them. They belonged to the state,
Yes.
to their country. Did not belong to their
Mhm.
parents. They belonged to their country.
do you believe in the smallest government possible? What do you feel about
Yes. I
Me
believe
too.
small government. I believe self-government. I don't believe that the human population is capable of self-governing, unfortunately. I believe in it, but we have too many people who are too selfish and too me
that? You think
to ever have self-governing.
the welfare system?
Sucks.
Yeah, I think that the welfare system and generations of people that live off of the welfare system, they're never going to disagree with Democrats, unfortunately, because they are used to the government governing them.
Yes and no. See, I'm considered on the state because I get Social Security disability for all the issues that I've had. Mind you, I've only been on it for 3 or 4 years, but I've always disagreed with it. Even while I was fighting for what I earned, I've always disagreed with giving people who don't do shit and don't earn shit a free ride.
I agree. There are instances that there should be maybe some help given, but if you've never worked and you're not even attempting to work and you've only lived off of welfare, obviously you're going to vote a certain way for a certain reason.
Candace, it's become that way now, but when it was first started, when Social Security
Absolutely,
was first started, it was meant to help those who couldn't do anything because of circumstances beyond their control. Kind of give them a hand up for a little bit till they could get on their feet. After the 60s, it became everybody that wanted it was getting it, whether they did anything to earn it or not. They were giving people who were crack addicts, alcoholics, Social Security disability almost immediately, when it was taking people like me and voodoo 5, 10, 15, 20 years. They were hoping we would die before we got it.
The welfare
That's why it's
system
in the state it's in.
Broken. It sucks.
Yes.
It is absolutely keeping people down. It's absolutely keeping people in a mindset that they don't even realize that they're in because of it.
Well, the point is, see, a lot of people that are on the welfare system, like these welfare moms, there's a broad on YouTube. She did a video from her fucking tenement project house, white chick, talking about how she's got Jordan, she's got this, she's got that, and we're all paying for it, and she ain't doing shit, and she's got 6 fucking kids. Look at
She's not wrong, is she? She's not wrong, is she?
No, she's not. She's not.
Sad.
And she's proud of that fact.
I know.
I'm in poverty too, Candace. I agree with you.
She wouldn't be proud of that fact if she had any other way, or she didn't have any other way to feed her children.
She's doing it on purpose. She's doing it on purpose. She said, I have friends who work 40, 50 hours a week, and I'm doing better than they're doing.
Wow.
Because now their home is paid for, the health care is paid for. They're getting $500, $600, $700 a month of food stamps.
Daycare too.
And they're getting,
they get daycare.
Not even that. They're not working, so they're staying at home, so they're not getting daycare, but they're getting paid per child. California stopped paying you per child after the 4th child. So
what do y'all think about the theory that the baby boomer generation has basically taken and basically just taken and left nothing for the rest of us.
I don't believe the baby. I don't believe the baby boomers did that. I believe the baby boomers are the reason why the country
The people in political power
the
right now in
politicians.
that
Okay.
generation. Yeah.
I agree with you. But every politician does that.
Because you think about it, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you could have a one-person family, or one person in the household could have a full-time job, and one person could stay home and raise the kids, and you weren't struggling. But now it's a two-person household, and even then, people are still struggling.
I think it's getting better though, because in my opinion, the tax cuts that happened at the top, because here's what happens. Once again, government is fucking capitalism, okay? Because there's so many regulations, there's so many taxations on big businesses, right? That I see this one man. He was in the top 1%. He gives 50% of his profit to the United States government. 50%, right? So obviously, if you have to give 50% of your profit to the United States government, you can't hire as many people. You can't make as many jobs. You cannot build capitalism the way that it needs to be built up. I think the taxes cuts that Trump did is going to, it might take a couple of years, but it's going to help in the long run, trickle down.
I don't agree. I've never believed in trickle down economics, because see, the poor people, the people like you, me, Amber, Candace, her mom, and everybody in the side chat, we're not going to see any of that money. The idea that trickle down economics is going to create more jobs, I don't see it. We had trickle down economics.
Do you think we'll see the money that they're giving over to the government, the 50% that they're giving over to the government?
Never. But we're not going to see it either way, so it's not going to help us. I want something that's going to help us.
I think if there's less taxes and regulations, right? The regulations would have to be lowered as well. There would be more jobs in the United States and not go overseas as easily.
No, because see, we've gotten into an entitlement situation where our countrymen, our workers, believe they can't work for less than $15 an hour. Why? Because everything from inflation, from global price rising and price gouging has gotten
you
so expensive.
You got to have a living wage.
Right, but see, that living wage, it's not really a living wage. The way it happens is, okay, I'll give you a case in point. There's a Walmart here. Walmart is losing money hand over fist. They just closed a Walmart in the town over from us where my in-laws live, and they cut back the hours in the Walmart where we live, in the town that we live in now, and 90% of their registers are self-checkout.
Do you know why that happened though?
Because of the $15 an hour and the fucking Obamacare. So you raising people's salaries, so to speak, as you know, we'll use the word salary instead of hourly.
That's the government regulations once again that I'm talking about. If you take
no, that's the people voted for this, pushed for this. They had to have $15 an hour. What they don't realize is when you start paying people more money, the price on a gallon of milk goes up.
Absolutely.
The price on a gallon of gas goes up because now the companies that are producing these products are not going to absorb the cost of paying you $15 an hour. It's going to have to trickle down to everybody that buys those commodities. Okay.
Yep.
The problem with that is, if you kept wages lower and the prices still went up, you could crucify the companies that were price gouging. That is a federal crime. Up to 10 years in Leavenworth and a $200,000 fine for the company that gets tried and prosecuted for it.
The trickle down will help at all?
No, not us. It'll help the upper echelon because see, it's been proven. Trickle down economics happened during the 80s. It didn't create any new jobs. It didn't bring more jobs back. It helped kill jobs. Why? Because now people were crying because they needed more money. So the wage, the federal wage went up. It used to be like $5 an hour. Then it went up to $6 to $7 an hour, $7.50 an hour. And you lost jobs overseas for people who are making $4 an hour to do the same job. Taxes had not a fucking thing to do with it, because what people don't understand is a company in the United States that say offsets their work or their labor to say Taiwan or Thailand still has to pay taxes on everything that comes into the country. And now they're paying tariffs on importing.
We've been
considered
fucked for years on that, though.
Yes.
Like, we've been fucked beyond, like, literally jokingly fucked. Like, other countries have been laughing at us that our presidents have left this.
That was called Reaganomics. It didn't get rid of inflation. It left debt, etc. Exactly. That was what I was going with that. And I'm a Reagan supporter. Okay, I'm a card-carrying Reagan supporter with the exception when it comes to Reaganomics. Why? Because trickle-down economics doesn't help the people that are paying into it. You take Elon Musk, for example. He pays 40%.
Wait, do we still have the same tariffs or the same taxes on not taking, or other countries not taking our
yes,
like China? We can't even send our products to China. There's a wall. They don't even accept it. But we accept everything from China. It's a joke. I think a lot of that.
Do you know why? There's a reason why.
Because we're idiots.
Why China? No. That's not the reason we're idiots. It's not the reason that because we're idiots. There's an actual China are locked into a currency thing. So if our economy goes to the south, so does fucking China's. So if our dollar goes to the shitter and it's worth 10 cents on the dollar, the UN, I can't pronounce it correctly, but China's currency will drop just as much. That's the reason that we import a lot more from China and export less, because China's not a buying market. They're not a buying market yet. Up until a few years ago.
I think we shouldn't be a buying market, though.
But that's us. That's our fault.
That's what I'm saying.
As consumers, that's our fault.
I agree.
Yeah, the average person is, but I'm talking about as far as the government goes, with the plans in place, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse, but any president that seen that happening and let it go on and not, here's what I think. Every president has had every other country's best interest at heart and not ours. Until now, I feel.
I don't feel any of our presidents have actually had our country's interests at heart. They've always had an ulterior motive and an agenda. Mm-hmm. Always. Even when we did the New Deal, when the stock market crashed in the early 1900s, that wasn't for us. That was to keep the government running, because we had people that were starving to death in the streets, and we didn't want anybody to know about it, which is why we started all these governmental programs and workshops and projects. That's the reason. And the tax break that Trump gave isn't helping us. Giving me $800 to $1,000. My wife was made a comment a while back. We were discussing about how Walmart says they're going to give $1,000 to X amount of employees thanks to the tax cut. But what about the employees that aren't getting that $1,000?
No, they get a certain amount of money for how long they work there.
Stephanie works at Walmart. She said they got $300.
Yeah,
my husband.
Have to be there at least 2 years.
Oh, the minimum is you have to work at Walmart for at least 2 years.
To get something.
Yeah, he's been there 7 years and he got $300.
He's been there 7 years. She's only gotten $300.
Yeah.
But that's my point. It doesn't work. You're not giving us shit, Hey, Voodoo, I appreciate that, brother, but you did just as much. So let's just stop. It's getting too much, bro. I don't know if you're trying to fuck with me or you're screwing with me, but it's too much, brother. I appreciate it. You actually served longer and were more in country than I was per hour, per day.
But Obama did the stimulus package or whatever, and that just bombed, huh?
Well, it bombed because he had no plan for anything beyond giving people money. Because what happens when you give people a stimulus project prospectus is all they see is the money that they're getting to help pay their bills up to the day.
Right, because they're already so behind and so poor already.
Right. So they don't see, okay, he's giving me this, but now it's going to cost me this 5 years down the road. It's going to cost me this a year down the road. Look at fucking Obamacare. than abortion that is Obamacare. I don't give a fuck if you tell me you didn't have insurance before. I didn't have insurance before either because I was a cancer survivor and nobody would give me insurance. I still survived almost 50 years, and when I needed to get done, got done.
I just don't trust the government to control anything, and they are already way too involved in our everyday life. And that's just another way for them to be controlling.
Right.
We do and don't do with our freedom.
It's another way of being distracting so they can take away our liberties and our rights and our freedoms, and we don't see it because we're so caught up in our own day-to-day lives. Yes, I voted for Trump. My wife voted for Trump. My son did too.
I would vote for him today, absolutely.
Well, somebody just asked in the side chat, so I was like, yeah, I voted for Trump. And music, I'm not going to say your first name only because that's kind of a bit offensive. And I don't say things like that just because I just not how I talk. The rich-poor divide, it'll be fixed. Capitalism is the only way to go. Socialism wants to take from the rich and give to the poor and make everybody poor. Communist wants to make everybody below poor.
What do you feel about socialism being a step to communism?
Socialism and communism are all the same thing.
I agree.
With the exception of socialists, true socialists do not believe that there should be a governmental power. They don't believe that anybody should be in charge. Okay? They want to be like mob rule.
So they believe that you should just be a collective of people with no government?
Pretty much. They believe that everybody should be able to
that's going to work.
And work towards the same goal. Communism believes that everybody is under the government.
But you can't think for yourself,
anything, though. Right. You can't be anything but what the government says.
It's no different, though, because socialism, to me, socialism is the party. Well, how do I say this? The moment before communism that makes everybody kumbaya and do whatever everyone is doing, right? Because what communism has to happen to be in place is human nature has to be completely out of it. You cannot have human nature and listen to human nature and have communism. It just doesn't work. You have to.
Now, we have to disagree music.
Like a noodle or a glass of water that they can hold.
Exactly. They want you to be like fucking Play-Doh. But music, you're wrong. Communism is not equal pay. Communism is about you being, say, a musician, okay, and you've got a beautiful talent, and you can make money off of your talent through capitalism, but you can only make just as much as the communist dictator wants you to make. You can't make any more than the farmer making, say, $3 an hour. That's not equal pay. Or that's taking your abilities to do things and your talents and saying you can't do any better than the guy who's not got two brain cells to rub together for warmth.
That's the other thing. Like I said, human nature, right? You can't have Brad Pitt making a movie and then get some Joe Blow off the street and say, well, here, go and do Brad Pitt's job. We're going to pay you the same amount of money. You people in a free market and capitalism get paid for what they put in. You get paid out what you put in. That is what capitalism is.
But footprint, that's kind of what socialism is. It's clans. Socialism is just a big clan.
Yep.
Socialism and communism work on a small scale. Families, we're all communists in our families. Why? Because we're all working together towards the same goal.
It's a collective of people.
Ourselves.
It's a collective concept of people that all think the same way or are made to think the same way towards a common goal.
But see, no, I'm talking about from a family perspective, just the family dynamic. Mother, father, we're the leaders of the commune. You know, I'm going to go back to the 60s when they were doing free love communes.
Okay, Amber.
Everybody was equal. Everybody, you know, you couldn't be up here if your brother was down here. Yes, exactly. And that's what communism is a dictatorship. It's a dictatorship in our house, too.
Totalitarianism.
Our kids do what we tell them. Exactly. Our kids do what we tell them to do or they suffer the consequences. That's how it works.
Capitalism is the opposite of dictatorships, totalitarianism, communism, and socialism. If you like living in a capitalistic society, you cannot be for any of those other things. They are completely contraindicating of each other.
Well, not even that. If you look at the socialist countries now, like Venezuela, who's fucking dying. You look at Russia; they're not truly communist anymore. They got a capitalist infrastructure with communist leanings. Now, they figured out communism didn't work when even their own soldiers weren't getting paid because they weren't making any money.
When they're out,
that's what I just said. They're socialists. They're dying. They're dying.
They're catching pigeons on the street to survive. Like that country went under, and now it's so far gone that
they got to do something completely different because their leader, their president, is a dictator. He believes that he should have his people in his cabinet should have, and kind of fuck everybody else, which is what he's doing. You know, all these laws and rules.
What led to Venezuela? I think feminism, very far left-leaning feminism, and politically correctness is what got Venezuela to even be able to get to the point that they're at now, in my opinion.
And wait, who was it that said, you see, in music, no, I disagree. I think Trump is doing 70% of what the American population who voted for him want him to do. Got us out of the Iran deal, which was fucking illegal. He put North Korea in its place. Granted, he talks a lot of shit. I don't mind that. Why? Because he should have the same rights that I have to freedom of speech and freedom of expression. You don't have to agree with what he says or think he should be saying it. He still has the right to say it. All this pomp and circumstance and ceremony behind our presidents is bullshit. They're
the media is bashing him for even meeting with Kim Jong-un. Like, that's something that maybe should have happened a long time ago.
But look what happened.
I know.
He said, fuck you.
I think it's awesome.
You're going to do this or else. He's not only did he get Kim Jong-un to cross the parallel and go to South Korea, which is the first time that's happened since the Korean War.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
He's got him talking about denuclearization in earnest. He's also got him to release the three of the hostages that they were holding, who were able to walk out. The last time an American that was held by North Korea, got to leave, he was a vegetable.
I remember that.
Able to walk out.
Yes, I remember that. And it's such a good accomplishment, but they will not concede to one good thing about him. Not one. I mean, look the way that they attack his wife for no reason. She's just a lady reading a book. It's so disrespectful.
I agree with you completely. She's not done anything to anybody. Exactly. He has Twitter fingers, Kelly. I agree. But he still has the right to do it.
Listen, I used to think he was crazy for the way he tweeted, you guys. He has no other way. Unless he goes live, right? They're not going to cover the things that they want him to. He uses Twitter as a way to communicate, in my opinion.
And music, like, you said something along the lines of communism, equals equal pay. That's not true, though. Look at when the Berlin Wall fell and Russia went tits up. Why? Because communism wasn't working. Communism and socialism will never work. Why?
Listen, it will never work if capitalism is alive. There would have to be zero capitalism in the world for communism.
Not even that.
None.
Spain, Great Britain. Look at all the problems they're having financially trying to keep up the socialistic system. Maggie
said, I had a dear friend who was a missionary in Venezuela who was murdered there 3 weeks ago. Oh,
watch those fucking shows.
I got a show for you to watch. If you want to see how socialism works, watch If You Can't Pay, We'll Take It Away. It's a British show. I love the show, but it always makes me glad that I don't live there. And I'm glad that the laws there don't happen here. Voodoo, be easy, brother. Hope you get to feeling better. Voodoo had a bike wreck a few weeks ago. 3 cracked ribs, broken foot, road rash, and he totaled his BMW bike.
I think
he's just now getting better.
I think Trump isn't for war the way that people think he is. He's for getting things done, and he will say whatever he needs to do that. I don't think he's a crazy person that is going to kill innocent people for no reason. I don't see that. I could be wrong. I honestly think
And
that.
Maggie, you have my deepest sympathies and condolences.
Absolutely.
No drama. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, hon. I live out in Southern California now, the land of fruits and nuts.
It's Patch, the man who refused to die, is on panel. Cassandra.
Yes, ma'am. But Maggie, you have my deepest sympathies and condolences. But my question to you is, and this is going to sound mean, why the fuck was she out? Was your friend out there doing missionary work in a situation where the country can't even afford to feed itself, and these people are eating rats, dogs, themselves, each other? Because there's also been studies done where people are actually resorting to cannibalism on a small scale in Venezuela now.
Yes, it's bad.
Why would you put yourself in a position like that?
Kelly,
Yes.
I think he ordered the strike on Syria because he felt he had no other, because what you all have to understand, there is so much deep state power in the United States, and it comes straight from Israel, in my opinion, that he has to balance one way or the other, and if he pisses them off enough, he's not going to get anything passed in Congress.
Right. Not even that. He had to keep going with the shit that Obama had promised when he left. Because remember, he was the first person to bomb, to strike Syria. Obama did it the year before he left office. Obama did a lot of things. Okay, look at his travel ban. The countries on his travel ban are the countries that Obama said 3-4 years ago should be banned.
But he's racist for it.
But he's racist for doing it when Obama said it. It's all Obama's paperwork.
The hypocrisy of the media in our country is ridiculous. It's crazy.
No clue, Bash. I have no clue. I try to avoid all that stuff. And yes, Cuba is still communist, but they're working under a capitalist, tourist type of economy. People always talk about how great Cuba was for being communist, and they worked. It's like they weren't truly communists, though. They allowed tourists in. They took
Thank
tourist
you,
money.
expression. I appreciate that. I'm not an asshole. Don't listen to what they say.
I love Stephanie. I don't give a fuck who says anything different.
I appreciate that.
Why? Because Stephanie allowed me to have a platform to speak with her and talk with her and express and share ideas and opinions, even if we don't always agree. And she treats me with respect and dignity. That's what
for anyone. That's for
do.
Any human being.
Right. And I understand how that is music. People in the UK are a lot more polite than we are here in the States. My wife even says it. We'll watch these shows and be like, you can tell the cop is pissed the fuck off, but he's just so polite. I'm like, that wouldn't happen here. But I get what you're saying.
I think
also have to be in your country.
In the UK as into America. Like, we take pride in being able to speak freely, to bear arms. We take pride in our liberty, and that is stuff that you guys don't really have. Right. So it does make a difference.
Well, the problem with the UK is they signed the Magna Carta, which they thought was going to give them rights, which didn't. It was still, decades after they signed it that they actually got some of the rights that they were fighting for. And then the government decides they're going to take away fucking firearms, take away your ability to free speech because they have compelled speech laws there. You can't say anything that hurts anybody's feelings.
They have a speaker's corner.
Right.
They have to go to the corner.
My theory is this: I have the right to speak. You don't have the right not to be offended.
Yep.
That's not covered under the First Amendment. Your feelings don't matter to me. Facts matter to me.
Even being able to offend someone, right? Like, jokes are dead in America. My God. People get so offended. Like The Simpsons. Did you see the way The Simpsons handled that situation?
No, I haven't, but I don't watch regular TV.
Well, you need to check it out because it was really good. I was very proud of them. What this man made a movie on Hulu about a character that's a play on an Indian man from India. And it's been funny for years. I think it's like 20 years old or something like that, right? It's been hilarious for years. Now, all of a sudden, guess what? Dun, 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 it's racist, right? So the Simpsons pretty much said what I just said. Like, what they had Maggie look at the picture of him and was like, if something's been funny for this many years and now it's not, what do you even want me to say?
Well, I mean, look at what they did. Look what was it South Park or not American Dad, the other one, Peter Griffin, Stewie. That's not Family Guy. Look what they did with I think it was Family Guy when they were going to show Muhammad. I think it was Family Guy that did it, or it might have been South Park. One of the two. Mm-hmm. They were going to show Muhammad all the way up until the night of the night of the airing of that episode. They killed it.
Yep.
Why? Because everybody got offended. But it's okay to make jokes about Buddha, make jokes about God or Jesus or whatever. But this is the kind of world that we're living in.
Mohammed is off limits. Don't you know, Patch? Mohammed is a no-go. Nowhere. Anywhere you go, Mohammed's off limits. You Islam.
Let me give you some backstory on my educational level. I dropped out of school when I was 15 and I got my GED when I was 15. But I was studying to be a priest as a child. I studied the Quran. I studied the Torah. I studied the Catholic version of the Bible. I know more about the Quran than a lot of people that I talk to do. And I've had people tell me how they should kill me, cut out my tongue, so I couldn't make disparaging remarks against Muhammad, the child rapist.
That's another thing that I brought up on my channel the other day, and or maybe in a chat, I don't know. But people were being called Islamophobic because they were against small children wearing hijab. What do you call this? The headdress.
Hijabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, hijabs or burqas.
The reasoning behind that is when you're of sexual age, right? You cover yourself up so you don't turn someone on.
Right, because they can't control themselves, apparently.
Why would a child ever need to do that?
Because according to Sharia law, once a child hits puberty, they're not a child anymore.
These were small kids. They were fighting
between 6 or 9 is the actual legal age under Sharia law. It really is.
That's disgusting.
Back 2,000 years ago, people weren't living past the age of 25, 30. So the kids, 9, 10-year-old kids were having families. So they would have families before they died. So bloodlines would continue, family names would continue. And this happened all over the globe.
Right.
But
we have evolved from that, haven't we?
Right. They have
not. Unfortunately. And they're still trying to protect and make it racist, even though it's not a race, FYI, make it racist to even speak out against it.
Well, there's a thing called abrogation in Sharia law and in Islam. There's a thing called abrogation. What abrogation means is that all the later stuff that Muhammad supposedly had revealed to him by God supersedes all the shit that came before. So if you look at Sharia from the beginning, when Muhammad wasn't able to field an army, when he had to kiss everybody's ass to kind of get a foot in the door, he was nice to everybody: peace, love, understanding, tolerance, sharing knowledge, sharing intelligence and intellect. And once he became the warlord, he said, kill the infidel, kill the unbeliever, kill the Jew, kill anybody that disagreed with him. And if you didn't, and they had 2 choices, well, 3 choices. You could convert.
Yes. You
could pay the jizya, which is the tax on non-believers to live in a Muslim country, or you could die.
Yep. And God forbid,
those are facts.
If you're a woman or you're gay.
Right.
Because that tax isn't happening.
Well, not even that. If you're gay, they'll throw you off a fucking bridge. They'll throw you off a building.
Absolutely.
They'll burn you.
Absolutely.
My wife and I watch some stuff on YouTube.
Women just got the chance to drive there.
No, they got the chance to drive in Saudi Arabia. In other Muslim countries, they still don't have it. That's Saudi Arabia. They got that chance. But we were just watching videos a few weeks ago, by accident of Sharia law in action. Chicks being buried up to their necks and having their heads beaten with sticks by the tribe of guys in their village.
Absolutely. I think a lot of Americans and Europeans are afraid to be called Islamophobic or racist. So they just, in their head, defend it because they don't really know enough about Sharia law. So they go along with it because they're in their mind, they're thinking, well, you deserve to have the right, right? But what they don't understand is they're literally fighting for the women not to have rights at all and for children to be sexualized at a very young age.
My wife just brought this up to me with one of the last videos we watched, Real Law in Action. This chick was showing too much hair. So it was against the morality police.
Absolutely.
So they came in and beat the living shit out of her with fucking sticks.
Yep.
With the townspeople helping them. Because she offended them.
By showing too much hair under them.
By showing too much hair under her hijab.
You're not allowed.
I mean, what the blue fuck, people? And that's what's starting to happen everywhere. Once your ability to be offended supersedes my First Amendment rights, you can go fuck yourself.
Yep, I agree. And in Europe, it's really bad. You know, they have a lot of laws that protect this racist
Canada, they just passed
rhetoric.
a year and a half ago, they passed compelled speech laws saying that if I wanted to mispronoun Stephanie and say, "What's up, dude?" in Canada, I could go to jail for that.
Absolutely. That's crazy.
And mind you, I sometimes call my wife dude, like we're in a heated discussion. I'm like, well, dude, what are you talking about?
Yep.
Not because I'm trying to be a dick and don't call her a guy. But you're not going to tell me what I have to say.
It shows how much actual pull that the left has everywhere.
Hey, Kelly, I'm going to say you're factually right, but conceptually wrong. Why? Because our president doesn't have any pull supposedly over Congress, but he can do a lot of things that Congress can't stop just by writing executive orders. And I know the Queen has that kind of power.
And he also has to make decisions based on the fact, knowing that he does need Congress to pass certain things without looking like a complete asshole.
Right, without looking like a dictator and a totalitarian.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Mama Cat, I agree with you. And that's where my rights would supersede yours if your rights are infringing upon mine and vice versa. But you don't have the right to not be offended. So if I say something that offends you, too bad. I have the right. Free speech, the First Amendment was created to cover speech that nobody liked, that wasn't popular.
Thank God we have a constitution. If we did not have a constitution,
we'd be fucked.
In America, the way that it is right now, we would be so fucked.
Exactly. I agree with you. Because we'd be like friggin' China. We'd be like China.
Yep.
Do you realize when you go to China, you can't get in touch with your Facebook, your Twitter, your YouTube? You can't do any of that because they shut it all down.
We're not very far off from that, to be honest. I don't think.
I think we are, for a simple reason that there's more of us that are awake and have the ability to speak out.
Yeah, but who owns the programs that we use? Who owns the programs that we use?
Very true. That's one of the reasons why I wanted net neutrality.
I want to go ahead and start signing up for some for things that let people talk. I got rid of Facebook altogether. Facebook is horrible. Twitter is right behind that, and YouTube is right behind that too. I want to find platforms and introduce platforms to people where you can actually have an opinion, and it's okay if it disagrees with what they want you to think. YouTube is not.
Actually, Mama Cat, let me correct something real quick. You don't have the right to be offended. You can be offended, but you don't have that. That's not a right. That's not a guaranteed right. That's why I don't have to care about you being offended. See, if you had the right to be offended, then I would have to care. In Canada, you have the right to be offended, which is why they made compelled speech laws saying you can't say these certain things, otherwise you'll face.
In Europe as well.
Judgment. Yeah, and in Europe as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, you'll face going to jail. You'll face, and the problem I have with that whole thing is everything that you compel somebody to do is always compelled at the end of a gun by the time it's said and done. Because now, if I tell a cop to go fuck himself, or he's a piece of shit, just hypothetically, I wouldn't do that. But cops have to eat a certain amount of bullshit when dealing with the public. They have no choice. But if you tell me I can't say you're doing your job incorrectly without getting a beat down, but legally getting a beat down, thrown in jail for speaking my opinion, you're coercing me by force. And at the end of the day, anytime you bring the government into something to push your point or your agenda, that's at the end of a gun. And that's a fact.
There is no other way. There isn't another way. That's the only way. That's another problem with communism and why it doesn't work. Because you cannot take away someone's human nature. You have to force them.
Mm-hmm. You have to compel them. And it's usually, you can talk to me till you're blue in the face about morality or how I should just be nice. I'm not nice by nature. I'm loud, obnoxious, overbearing, and I don't give a fuck. Why? Because it's how I feel. It's my opinion. You can argue your opinion all day long, and I won't disgrace you or denigrate against you because you have a differing opinion.
Yep.
But people that I argue with don't have the same theories on that. They want to shut you up, shut you down, and the only way they can do that is by force. Because you can tell me all day long I'm an asshole. I'm like, yeah, and your point. My favorite phrase when somebody says you're an asshole is, "What, are you new here?" Or, "Hi, have we met?" I know this about me. You can't tell me shit about me that I don't already know. It's not going to make me change how I think or what I say.
I don't know how we got to a point that people's words have so much power like they do now.
Because it's a control thing.
Oh, I heard the other
It's a
day.
control thing.
Have you heard that there was a case in the United States that a black man broke into a house in the middle of the night? The 3-year-old.
Cantaloupe.
What was that now? Black man did what?
Broke into a house in the middle of the night. The 3-year-old woke up, called him the N-word, and he went to trial for this. What I read and what I heard was that is a defense for provocation. How do you feel about that?
He broke into the house first. Fuck you. You're lucky the 3-year-old shoot you in the face.
That's scary, isn't it?
Break into my house, you're going to get called a lot of things before I shoot you in the head. For breaking into my house and threatening my wife and my children. I'll take a charge to protect me and mine. I take a charge to protect Stephanie if I see her in the street getting the shit beat out of her by her old man. He'd go to the intensive care unit at the very least. But I take a charge for assault for doing so.
Yes, Drama Queen. I'll have to go back and find the article that the lady read. It was on a stream I was watching. She said it came out about a month ago. I don't know all the details to it, but if that ever does become a defense in any way, I don't care what race or religion it is, if it becomes a defense for murder or for violence or for breaking and entering or whatever, fucking bear arms. That's all I can fucking say.
And I'm going to apologize now because your viewership dropped substantially since we started talking about these things, because it's not the typical YouTube drama shit. But I want to apologize because I know you usually do. I'm trying to be nice to you, so just shut up. And
the 90 people that are here hearing what we have to say means more to me than anything, because I think there is a lot on YouTube. People are afraid to, everywhere, Twitter, YouTube, anywhere, that they're afraid to be able to say what they want, and I want to use my platform for that.
Well, I certainly concur and agree with you. I mean, you
I
see my channel.
coming on.
Well, I appreciate you having me, dear. You're one of the people I enjoy hanging out with on panels, which is why I said next week I'm still recovering from a lung issue. And then I fell down my stairs last night and fucked my back up. I've had 5 back surgeries. My bad leg gave out. My brace decided to pop open. My leg crumpled. I hit the floor. My 2 dogs decided they were going to come see what happened and step on my chest as I was trying to get up. And one of my dogs is 80 pounds. big dumb dog. He's like, Dad, what did you do? Why are you down here? Oh, but it's time to play.
What happened to you?
He's like headbutting me. He's like headbutting me to play with him. I was like trying to recover my breath and trying to pick myself up off the floor at 3 o'clock this morning. So I've not slept very much this particular day because of the back issues, but I enjoy hanging out with Stephanie for 2 reasons. She thinks, and she allows others to think. Can't respect anybody more for doing that than I respect Stephanie and others that do the same thing. Those of you who think similarly, check out a professor named Jordan Peterson. Love this guy. He has no problem. The supposed racist, the supposed homophobe, the supposed gay basher, yeah.
Can I say, I also want to say this before we get off here. If someone says something that is a factual statement, whether it's about a race or not, it's not racist. Go ahead.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. I mean, people use the terms racist, homophobe, Islamophobe to shut you down when you're bringing out facts that disprove their opinion. And nobody, especially on the left, they equate you disproving them as a physical attack on them, so they feel they have the right to punch you in the face. FYI, you don't have the right to punch me in the face,
which is never
for saying
okay.
Something that you're wrong. Right. Physical action against somebody who's speaking to you is never okay.
Never.
Ever.
Never provoked. I seen this one lady that I think it might have been at I don't know. It was somewhere. It was at Berkeley, and I know they were having a protest, right? And she literally grabbed this guy, pulled him down, punched him in the stomach repeatedly, right? She's trying, and she's an Antifa leader, okay? And she's trying to get off of her felonies for attacking him because guess what? The cops are fascist. He's fascist. The cops let him stand there and be fascist, so she had to take action into her own hands. There was no other options. It's a witch hunt.
Oh yeah. Well, do you remember the communications professor? They were holding a Black Lives Matter rally at this college. I don't remember what it was, but a local student, part of the school paper, was trying to do a piece on it. She didn't want him there. She hated him being there so much because he was exposing the bullshit. She had 4 or 5 guys come physically remove him off his own campus. She got fired, thank God. That's why I say I have a little hope for our country, because people are starting to wake up and see these things.
It's because it's getting so out of control. That's the only. They have no other reason, no other option but to see it now. Right?
Exactly.
Because it's so out of control. And of course, the judge told her, hello, no, you literally made a crime on video. No, you're going to stand trial. Like, what are you talking about?
She got fired. The cops are still doing investigations into it. I think she got fined and community service for her role in it. The people that she got to make him leave got nothing. But she was the ringleader. She was the professor who got other students. This is what scares me about college campuses, where you can make people do things that they wouldn't normally do.
They're cancer. They're so many fascists, as they want to call everyone. College professors? So many. Mm-hmm. There's a Facebook page called "My College Professor is a Fascist," and they literally just secretly videotape their college professors. And this one man was talking about how pretty much everybody in our history that founded our country, they're KKK members. All of them.
Oh yeah, all of them. Before the KKK even existed.
Right.
Before the KKK
they're all white nationalists.
Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin were so diametrically opposed, ideal-wise. I don't see them getting together and commiserating and co-sponsoring the KKK.
You're wrong. They're both white. They have to. Of course.
The problem is when people tell me that the Constitution was written by slave owners, fuck you. That's a deflection, because the entire world back then was doing slavery. FYI, the United States was the first country in the fucking world to abolish slavery. Yep. We fought a war over it.
Doesn't
And
take
if you're not
away.
worried about slavery, look at South Africa. Look at the Congo. They're showing daily pictures of villagers being
Genocide.
strung up.
It's
Not even that,
genocide.
they're being strung up and sold as slaves.
No, they're killing people openly.
Yeah, I know they are, but the thing is, when we're discussing the slavery topic, they want to talk about how slavery is gone and we're bad because we had slavery. It's still going on. So if you're worried about fucking slavery, how about you go to the fucking Congo or South Africa and defend those villagers who are being stuck up in bamboo cages or hung upside down by their feet and being sold to fucking Asians, Southeast Asians.
It's only
Thailand,
okay if they do it
China.
to each other.
Right. What people don't understand, what people also don't realize is, factually, it wasn't the whites who started doing slavery to the Africans.
Nope.
The Africans were selling each other.
Yep.
They were looking for markets. And whites, Americans, were being enslaved by the Barbary Coast pirates who were Muslim after making treaties with us 6 separate times until we got fucking fed up and went over there and wiped them the fuck out.
Did you see the guy on Facebook who wrote that there was only 5,000 or however many 5 million white people to 45 million black people left in Africa and they could wipe them out in 2 weeks? He denies writing it now. You know, that's the new thing too. You, as a defense, you can literally deny writing something and you didn't do it. Like the lady that I think she works for CNN. I could be wrong, but anyways, back in the day, she was talking about gay people and being really homophobic, as they'll call it, right? And now she says, I honestly do not remember writing those words. She claimed being hacked. Now she wasn't hacked. No. Now her defense is she honestly doesn't remember writing those words, and they accept it.
Right. And they do that all the time now. And that's the left's favorite tactic. When they get called out for bullshit they said 10 years ago, oh, I don't remember saying that. But when they call out Trump,
Joy Reid,
something he did 40 years ago, he says, fuck you, I don't remember what I did 40 years ago. I probably did it. But they want to hold him to a higher standard. Funny thing about Trump,
standard, they would sacrifice him for that. You know what I mean? Like, say they found Trump saying that same thing that Joy Reid lady said. They would crucify him for that. Crucify.
Do you guys realize that Trump is the only New York white businessman to have been honored multiple occasions by the NAACP, by Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton in the 80s and early 90s? He was given awards for humanitarian efforts in the black community.
Kelly, since you brought that up, let me go ahead and say what Trump was saying. I'm not defending him, but what he was saying is that there are so many thoughts out there that throw their pussy at him because he has money that he can grab them by the pussy anytime he wants. That's what he was trying to say.
Hey, Music, have a great day, brother. Appreciate you being here, man.
He wasn't just going around.
We're going to be doing this a lot more often, I think.
Yes, thank you for coming. He wasn't just going around and grabbing random innocent women by the pussy.
Right.
He was getting it.
Even down to the Stormy Daniels thing. I don't give a fuck who he put his pecker in.
Who cares about
10 years ago.
that?
Don't give a shit.
Nothing illegal happened. Nothing illegal.
Our sitting presidents have been caught getting blowjobs in the Oval Office and leaving stains on the little intern's dress.
But it doesn't matter. You're left.
Right.
The hypocrisy.
Nobody cared then.
You can sit here and point out their hypocrisies for days and days and days because you know why? They don't even believe their own bullshit that they preach. They don't live by it. Like I live by the morals and values that I stand by. They don't.
Exactly. And not even that. Okay. I could say a lot of fucked up things. I used to wrestle for a living. So I hung out in a lot of locker rooms and a lot of venues doing a lot of events with all guys. And I have no problem saying if I seen some hot chick in the bar after a wrestling show, after we got done wrestling, I mean, goddamn, I could hit that. I ain't gonna lie. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not.
A man would. I'm telling you, a rich man, especially, who can have any woman in the world that he wants, pretty much. Not any woman, but you know what I mean. Of course they talk.
Exactly, Paula. She said yes. The same president that we were discussing a cigar up the same intern's vagina. Just saying.
I call them the evil couple.
Hey, Punky, I appreciate that. That's really cool. That's really cool. I appreciate that immensely. Thank you. Yeah, I'm having a blast with Stephanie. I appreciate her having me on. We've just been going off on this tangent. I fucking love it.
This is my passion. When I'm not
mine too.
On YouTube, like on the drama part of YouTube, I watch this stuff. This is the stuff I watch and learn and look into and research.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I do this 10 or 12 hours a day when I'm feeling up to it. I got sick in January, and I've not been able to kick this lung issue since January.
Kelly.
So,
yes, Kelly.
Can I ask a question? If Hillary got in, she would have had to sit behind the same. Yep, exactly.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think if our country was fair and our justice system was fair, do you think Hillary would be in prison, or at least being punished? I do too.
Yes, she would have been.
Another hypocrisy.
Get people off their ass and stop trying to ride Trump's balls for shit that they've not found a single shred of evidence in over a year's worth of research. He's been cleared of the collusion
now.
Right. But they're still doing it to try and bring him down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, she would have been in jail a long time ago, especially for the Benghazi shit.
Yes,
I agree with you, Paul. She should
be. She's evil, downright evil. Oh, I can't stand
when you can call 60% of the country deplorable because they don't agree with you and claim we're all misogynists and all anti-feminists and racists and anti-gay, you don't deserve public office.
She didn't even try. Like, she didn't even campaign, really. She just assumed that she would get the position. Thank God. Literally, I mean, God.
I think something happened because all the way up until that point where it just flipped, they had her winning, and she was winning in the polls, and all of a sudden, in a fucking eye blink, Trump won.
What
and
polls?
Nobody seen it coming.
That's what.
Well, I mean, CNN, Fox, mainstream media polls that they're doing coverage on. I sort of trust Fox, especially considering they're right leaning. I don't trust them.
Cover.
Yeah, I do too. I've talked to Tucker twice on YouTube. I got to talk to him twice on YouTube. And he's an interesting fella. And we exchanged messages a couple of times on YouTube over stuff that he was covering. And I was trying to promote my channel and get some of these bigger guys to come check me out. It's like I got Ben Shapiro to come check me out. I've got Uncle Hotep to come check me out. I've gotten Bearing, who's a big YouTuber, 600,000 plus subscribers, to check me out. But I think
Tucker is too woke, and Fox won't let it keep on going the way that it is, because he even talked about how he thinks it was bullshit about the gassing in Syria.
Yes.
That threw me off.
Well,
I was like,
Tucker. The last time they said that, it was found out to be the British.
I think it's bullshit.
I agree.
I don't believe it at all.
I think it was a reason to go to war.
I believe
it. Well, when Obama did it, he said the same thing, that they used gas attacks against their own people. Mm-hmm. I love Jordan Peterson. I've not been able to catch up to him. He's, him and Ben are like gods to me as far as the YouTube world goes. So the very fact that Ben actually talked to me a few times on Twitter, I was like amazed.
I think Israel has such an influence in the deep state and in our government. That's the reason why I think Trump did what he did. I think he only did it as I did it, shut up.
Right, you know what I'm placating measure.
Yeah.
Right. Because he was all for getting out of it until his handlers, we'll call them handlers, kept saying, no, you've got to do this. You've got to do this. And now look at what's going on. Right. Israel and Iran are bombing the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I keep waiting for us to end up getting sucked into that. And that scares me.
Absolutely.
Because they have no problem throwing a nuke.
War's scary. War for other countries, whenever our country needs to rebuild itself, is asinine to me. I know it's all a huge chess game that most people don't understand, and I get that. But at the end of the day, we need to worry about building up our country, or we're not going to be here to help other countries later.
Right. The bottom line, though, about war, especially for us, is we remove surplus people from the workforce. We send them overseas to fight. The horrible thing is we send people overseas to die in a war.
Mm-hmm.
Those that die can't come back and take jobs for the people that are here. World War II had it really bad. We lost hundreds of thousands of people. There's hundreds of thousands of servicemen and women in World War II. But that was, it was predicated on bullshit. They knew Japan was coming to Pearl Harbor. They knew they were coming to Hawaii. They allowed it to happen. Another false flag. That way, the president at the time could get the American populace behind World War II on more than just sending supplies and equipment over.
Every war that we've ever went into, the reasoning that we were given in the United States wasn't real.
Right. It wasn't true. It wasn't the true reason. Mm-hmm. They made it be the true reason. They said, they attacked us first. But we were cordoning off and we were blocking trade routes in the Pacific before we ever got involved. Right, exactly, Paula. FDR didn't have congressional backing to declare war until after Pearl Harbor. But we were doing everything else but firing on the Japanese and the Germans with our blockading of the shipping lanes from Japan.
Yeah,
we were doing that for what the war.
The saying is, it's only terrorism if they do it, right? We're the only country in the world that's ever used a nuclear weapon.
Right. Do you realize that during the Korean War, when MacArthur made the push to go to the border of North Korea and China, when the Chinese sent hundreds of thousands of troops across the border to stop us because North Korea couldn't? That's the reason why we didn't win the war, is because we sent ill-prepared, low-numbered divisions because we were doing a blitzkrieg type of situation. We were just running through the country, destroying everything. Fuck the supply lines. Fuck making sure we had enough reinforcements. So when the Chinese popped in, we didn't know what the fuck to do because they were outnumbering us 10-1. MacArthur was calling to drop a nuke on China. The president was talking about dropping a nuke on China, and were talked out of it. Exactly, Jody, I agree with you.
Thank God.
I mean, I'm not so sure about thank God. I'm not sure about thank God because at that time we were the only ones with nukes. China wouldn't have recovered enough to fuck with us. They wouldn't be where they are now.
Now, whoever hits the button first, it's all going to go to shit in a day.
Right. It's literally called mutual destruction. It's called mutual destruction.
I've been watching this channel called Apex TV that claims to have time travelers. And it is very interesting. Holy shit. It's scary.
I've watched some of that stuff. I've also watched some of the stuff about the Anunnaki and fallen angel giants and things along those lines. Just I find a lot of that stuff interesting, but it's kind of like a lot of conspiracy theories. I have to gauge whether I'm wearing, 2 layers of tinfoil or one.
I believe it.
Actually start believing.
Can I say I believe it 100%? They can prove it wrong. I believe it, and here's why. Right? If there ever in the future is a time where time travel is mainstream or introduced mainstream, they're going to travel back.
Right. I agree. I would hope so, to tell us to stop being stupid.
Well, some of the ones that I've watched, one person says within the next 200 years that Yellowstone erupts and the world's gone. So they're trying to
volcano.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of that. Another thing was that in 2000, they came back and got rid of a civil war. And that's the reason why 9/11 happened, because we were going to go to a civil war in 2008. They made that not happen. But they also said that when some of them that I've watched said that when they did go back and try to make things better, such as World War I and World War II, things got worse. So they refused to try to help.
I want to say something real quick to Dodina. They're talking about pets. I have a lab pit bull mix and a Chihuahua Yorkie mix, and my pit bull Tino, he is next to my wife. He is my best friend. He is my boy. I've never had a dog like him. I've had dogs all my life, but this dog is like, I'm not just his best friend, but he's not just mine, but I'm his best friend. He's a daddy's dog.
I can't get a dog.
He's a daddy's dog. He'll lay here when I'm on the computer and doing a show. He'll lay right next to me with a paw on my knee the whole time I'm online, just like that. Hey,
you're such good dogs. Yeah. My mom had pit bulls, and they literally would just sit in my lap.
I have cantaloupe.
Oh, and the reason why my wife's got him over there where she's painting on the bed is because he's staring at her bowl that has cantaloupe in it.
He's hungry.
Oh, no, he's not hungry. This dog eats like nobody's business. I shared steak with him last night. We made steaks last night for dinner. And from the time I sat down to eat until I got up, he would not leave my side.
You must really love him to share steak with him.
Oh, yeah. So does my wife. This dog eats what we eat. He's like looking at me now like, are you talking about me?
He's not.
I would show him to you on the camera, but my wife is in the same photo, in the same shot. She doesn't like me on camera. So I get slapped, and I don't want to lose another eye.
Don't get slapped.
Yeah, no. She slaps you in the back of the head, the other eye will pop out, and I'll be.
If you do slap him, at least let it be on live stream.
Stephanie said, if you do slap him, at least let it be on the live stream. We have a slap tally chart because I say a lot of shit to my friends on my channel. They're like, hey, Mrs. Patch, slap him. And she's like, I'll put it on a sheet. I'll put it on the tally sheet.
One day she's gonna go and smack the shit out of him.
Well, no, she does it in her sleep. A few weeks ago, my wife has this problem when she's sleeping. She likes to throw an elbow here or smack me in the fucking forehead. Sound asleep. The first few times she did it, she's trying to do it in her sleep. But a few weeks ago,
it's okay.
Right? Sharia law. You're allowed. It's the opposite of Sharia law, honey. At least that's what Stephanie says, but I don't listen to her anyway. I think the dye has gone to her head, soaked into her brain a little. Don't listen to her. But a few weeks ago, we're laying in bed, and she's sound asleep, and I'm watching. We like to watch Forensic Files and these shows Locked In on like Hulu and Netflix. They're about the prison shows. Well, I'm laying here minding my business, and she reaches over with her fucking hand and goes slap over my mouth and my nose and holds it there. Sound asleep, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? She wakes up and goes, oh shit, did I just try to smother you? I'm like, yes, you did. What the fuck?
Like, what are you dreaming about, woman?
Right. Right. But then again, Clinton inherited a shitstorm too. To be honest, every president's inherited a shitstorm from previous generations of presidents. I mean, Trump is the first president I've seen that Obama tried to claim all these economical booms and it had nothing to do with him. Clinton inherited the surplus, our economic surplus, for the previous presidents before him, and they tried to say it was all him. It wasn't. A lot of the shit that's going on now is all Trump. Bringing back companies to start doing business here again and building new factories is Trump. Nothing. Yep. They left because of Obama.
I think
he's done on the world stage astonishes me.
Yes, I think they're pretty soon. If they're going to have to start building here because he's not going to trade with China the way that he was. Or he said he's not going to unless they cooperate and take down. And I don't think they're going to.
Well, do you remember when Trump was running for office? And Obama was like, well, what's he going to do? Wave his magic wand and bring jobs back? Well, guess what, people? He waved his motherfucking magic wand and he brought jobs the fuck back.
Because he's a smart businessman. He knows how it works. AI is another thing that's really scary because very soon in the future, everybody could be replaced. I mean, it's just... AI
scares me. AI scares me a lot.
It's just a part of
nature. Let Google do it. That the new commercial to get out for the Google Assistant. Let Google do it. Fuck you. I'm not letting Google do shit for me.
Like you could just go to
McDonald's. On fucking YouTube. Right.
You could just go to McDonald's, right, and put your money in, and a 3D printer could just print your food out on the other side. You wouldn't need one human.
Not even that. They don't need they don't need a human. There are some companies, some fast food joints that are doing the self-serve ordering your menu. The only thing you need people for would be to cook it right now, and one person to run the computer banks. That's it. I think it's a McDonald's that's doing it. McDonald's, Hardee's.
Very soon in the near future, something's going to have to happen because AI is only going to get bigger. It's only going to be pushed more. The companies that are already rich from technology are only going to get richer from technology.
Exactly. I agree.
So the economy will fail at that point. It'll be what'll happen is there'll be two classes. There'll be rich and poor, and there won't be a middle class. Right.
And Drama Queen just said, yep, McDonald's is like that where she lives, where they're doing the self-serve ordering. It's happening in other countries. They're just doing it in other countries to lay the groundwork so they can bring it here. I think Hardee's here in a few places in a few states is doing that now as a test run. They're having nobody take orders except the computer.
I've seen a movie.
What you want. Go ahead, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I've seen a preview to a new movie that's coming out where they have a 3D printer where you can actually print off guns on it.
Yeah,
which is probably not far off from the truth.
Oh no, they can actually do that now. The terrorists have figured out a way of smuggling guns onto planes through 3D printing.
What about money then? Money's not even going to matter then, will it?
Money's not mattered in decades. Money, the American dollar is a fiat
Federal
currency.
Reserves,
it's not backed by anything. Right. It's not backed by anything. We just keep printing money.
I'll be off in like 10 minutes. I'll get off in like 10 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. He's just hungry. He's a hungry man.
I dig it. I'll tell him my apologies for keeping you so long then.
Oh, he doesn't mind. He's a much nicer person than I am. But anyways, no. So if you can just print off anything that you want, theoretically, you could just buy a 3D printer and then have whatever you want. You wouldn't have to buy anything.
Right.
Wow.
Data Footprint just said there are programs that have over-programmed the programmer. Get your head around that. And that's AI. AI scares me because it will become a Terminator situation.
The what do you call these? The computer that they have in CERN. They work off of parallel universes, pretty much. It shows that there's infinite amount of parallel universes, right? Every thought.
Like, so far, like 12 dimensions. So far.
Yeah, every thought that we make creates, ripples and whatever, right? But what happens is in the future, these computers that we're using now aren't the norm. Those are going to be the norm in the future, I do believe.
Right.
Which is
unfortunately, and that's scary because look what it does to the low-wage worker, the low-skilled worker. You're screwed, and that's 60% of the country. We're all to one point or another. I have computer programming skills. I write code, but I'm not certified. And Bitcoin's a different thing. Bitcoin is a very volatile market. It's just like the stock exchange was in the early 1900s.
The time travelers say in the future that the Bitcoins are our money globally.
Probably, but the way I see Bitcoin now is you gain 5,000, you lose 10,000. That's what's been happening.
Our money isn't even backed by gold anymore.
No, that's why I said it's fiat currency. It means nothing. It's just paper. But not even paper, it's cloth because our money is still printed on cloth, not paper.
What the hell? Like, how can that sustain a society?
It's doing it because we're stupid. It's doing it because we're stupid. Somebody asked earlier what I feel about people who are trying to live off grid and all this other good stuff and dealing in currency and gold and stuff. Do you realize the reason why we actually attacked Syria, or why Syria was actually attacked to begin with, or Gaddafi was taken out, was because he was trying to get rid of the central banks. He wanted everybody to start paying them in gold, not in their currency, because he knew their currency was worthless. The minute you buck the system, they find a way to get rid of you. Going back to a gold standard, trading in gold, silver, precious metals, gems, whatever, makes a whole lot more sense than keep trading in paper that means nothing.
So
that's why inflation is so high.
Is it just the dollar, or is it every?
It's almost every currency that doesn't deal in gold. Right now, it's the oil. We're dealing in the oil dollar. Is basically what it's called. Right. Exactly, Paula. And that's what it's turning into. And I can't remember the phrase for it, so my apologies. One of you guys can look it up later. But yeah, we're petrodollar. The petrodollar. It's basically the oil dollar.
It's going to happen. It's inevitable that it's going to happen.
Well, it's not inevitable. Nothing is ever inevitable until it happens. Why? Because there are people who are thinking, especially people in upper echelons of government and business, who are saying, this isn't going to fucking help me. This is going to hurt my
I'm thinking about other countries that are taking
yeah.
Right? They could say tomorrow, fuck your dollar sucks.
But their money sucks even worse. So their currency sucks even worse. With the exception of a few big countries like Canada, Great Britain, even France, I think sucks. But little countries, Southeast Asian countries, they're like I said, China, their currency is directly linked to ours.
Okay. So that's what keeps it okay.
In balance. That's why they can't fuck with us too much. And yeah, footprint, it's messing with dark matter. But I don't think they're going to be able to do what they want to do, but, instigating a black hole. And if they do, God help us all.
I think they already have done something that has changed reality.
Right. I agree with you to that point, but I don't believe that they've actually made a black hole. Because the premise behind a black hole is, no matter how small it is, it's going to suck everything into it, just by the sheer intense gravity pull. I mean, it can pull whole planets apart. It can pull suns apart.
Something is afoot. I agree.
Right.
That a footprint.
I agree. I try to research these things, but the information is so scarce, and being able to say emphatically as a fact that this is happening is almost impossible to say in these regards. So when I talk about these things, I talk about it as if a what-if scenario.
I think very soon, too, there's going to be manned missions to start the mission or whatever to start cultivating and living on other planets.
I believe that they're talking about doing that with Mars. So I believe they're looking to colonize other planets.
They're going to have to.
Because we got almost like 9 billion people on the planet now.
In the next couple hundreds of years, or even say 1,000 years from now, there wouldn't be room for all of the humans, let alone any other species that come along between now and then.
Right. I agree with you completely. I agree with you, because we can't keep overpopulating the world. I mean, look, China just got rid of its one-child policy. So they can overpopulate and they can outbreed everybody else. They've already got
nobody gives two shits about global warming. So that's another thing that's happening, and just nobody knows what to do about it.
Well, the problem is, too, depending upon who you listen to, global warming is bullshit.
It's not. Nope.
Wait, whose IQ is 85 at best there, Cape Crusader?
No way, no how. It is definitely real.
I'm just saying, but depending upon who you listen to, you got the same side on either side of the equation saying it's real, it's not real, whatever. I can't say it is. I can't say it's not. I'm not qualified to do these things. I can only research stuff and come up with my own opinions based on the facts. But the facts can change depending upon which side of the fence you're on.
I mean, you have countries, not us, but you have countries that literally pollute the planet as much as humanly possible and have no regards to it. It has to be causing irreversible damage. It has to be.
Yes, I agree with you. But see, it's also cyclic, because now we had the mini ice age back during the Middle Ages. And there was we weren't burning mass quantities of coal. We weren't raping the environment like we are now. But we still had a mini ice age, which is how the plague started, how the plague got a footing, and how people died off, and cities and towns became so much smaller because everybody fucking died from not being able to eat and starvation and disease and all this other good shit based upon the mini ice age. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't doing anything to kill our environment then. We weren't able to.
That's what scares me even more now. Yeah. What's happening is we're getting so evolved and far technologically wise and all this stuff that we just keep going and going and get more power hungry and technologically hungry, that we don't regard for what it could do to future generations. That's the scary part about it. I mean, the world is only here as long as the humans on it don't kill themselves off first.
The world was here before we were here. It'll be here long after we're gone, just as long as we don't destroy it first.
Right. That's what
killing ourselves off doesn't necessarily mean the world's going to end, but destroying our economy and our environment and making it a hostile environment for anything to live on, that's what I'm afraid of. And Kate, a crusader, I'm glad you've listened to me for a whole 2 minutes and come to the conclusion that I have an IQ of 85 at best. I think I've forgotten more words than you'll ever learn. So please stay a while, learn something. Because Stephanie and I have been discussing these things for a while now, and they make pretty much sense to everybody in the side chat. Maybe not you, though. Sorry, I had to address that because I don't like my intelligence being rated.
I don't blame you.
Well, when I got over the brain cancer, I had to learn how to talk again. I had to learn how to tie my shoes. I had to learn to wipe my own ass again. So in my 20s, I was learning stuff that we learned as babies.
Right.
And it's infinitely more difficult to try and learn these things as an adult because you have so many outside distractions that you don't have as a child. You know, I had a wife, I had a kid, I had bills, I had responsibilities that I was still trying to maintain while learning all these things all over again. It took me 6 months to learn how to tie my shoes.
I couldn't imagine. It's amazing.
So when people insult my intelligence,
yeah,
get a little pissed off. I won't say offended. I get pissed off.
Well,
but I know you have to go to feature Mister.
Yes, I am going to go. Thank everybody in the chat for coming. Thank you for coming. It was fun.
I really appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you, Steph, more than you know, for having me on the panel. I really do.
We'll do this again soon, for sure.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely. Just anytime you want to do it, hit me up on Twitter, or send me a message on Twitter, or send me a message on FuckTube, and we'll be good.
Type in the chat real quick so they can know your channel.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody sub to Patch, the man who refused to die.
I appreciate you guys allowing me on your platform to discuss these things with you and being easy on me because I'm relatively new to Stephanie's panels. You know, this is only the second time I've been invited onto one of hers. I appreciate it immensely, you guys being so easy on me and asking the questions y'all ask. I love interacting with the people in the side chat because they make me think about things that when I first started the conversation, I may not have thought about.
Absolutely.
Before.
Thank you guys so much. There will be more, I promise. I'm going to run and cook dinner, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Take it easy, Steph. Have a good evening, honey.